Time's up. Have your own.
Here it comes.
Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome back. It's that time of the month. And no, I don't mean the other thing. It's Anime Odyssey.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I mean, I'm kind of bleeding.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
my
Don't ruin
God.
this. Don't ruin this. We only get to do this once a month, okay? Don't ruin it.
You set up.
Welcome. You could have waited till I was done. Your timing is terrible. Plain and simple. Anyway, welcome to Anime Odyssey, everybody, where we take a moment to chill out, relax, and weeb out without any of you complaining because it's anime on this show. This is what we do. We talk anime. You can't complain because that's the title, Anime Odyssey. Anyway, as always, I am joined by Dermy.
Hi.
Dermy. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic, especially because I got this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I want to hear it. Say it. Say thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I am proud of that. Gal hates me for that right now, and I'm okay.
Oh, she
with
hates all of us right now.
Yes,
She-
yes.
She hates every one
Gal's
of us
dead.
right now.
Remember, rest in peace.
I thought that, I thought that was over.
That joke
Oh, no, she's
ended the
still
moment she
dead.
started spamming masturbation.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah. Anyways, I'm actually happy to be here. This is one of those shows I might have forgotten this month because this has been a really busy month.
Mm-hmm.
but I got the show done. Don't you worry. This whole like show, Anime Odyssey, is one of my favorite streams to do because I'm not mad all the time and I get to talk about something I like.
Yes, yes. And we are joined this
And I'm
month.
sober.
Thank you, Dermy. Anyway, we are joined by our good friend Shaka Zulu. We're up on both Dermy, but this is your first time on my channel.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Shaka. Glad you could join us this month.
Thank you. Yeah, man. They say we're negative all the time, but
Yeah.
we get to talk about things we like. And I'm definitely not anime masters like you guys. Definitely more on the normie side, but I definitely love anime.
But anyway, and hail and howdy to everybody across both chats, and my chat and Dermy's chat. We are happy to have you here. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channels, and yes, I will update Shock's links in the description below when we're done because I forgot to ask him what do you want me to put in there. So we'll get those in there before we're done.
I'll put it in the private chat. Thank you.
Excellent. I'll get them in there. Anyway, all right. So I think we got a good one this month. This was my choice. This is one of my modern favorites. I love this franchise. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. I ended up watching all of it. I got through season 1 and I just kept going to season 2 and I watched the movie because season 3 is going on right now. So I am very excited in a couple of months to get around to watching what is probably just part 1 either way. But and then we're going to talk some relatively recent anime news coming out of Japan. Japan goes like this. Hey, Western localizers, Western wokies, we don't care what you think. We're going to make our shit the way we want it for our population because they understand that when they make it for themselves, we love it. The real fans, we love it. We like it the way it is. We don't need to see ourselves in everything. All I want to see are gravity-defying boobs. Let's be honest. That's what I'm here
The
for.
Physics, yes.
Yes, jiggle physics,
Mhm.
right? And that's
boob magic.
Boob magic. And a couple of things. Dermy also has a couple topics that he's going to throw out there. And so here we go. All right. That time I was reincarnated as a slime, season 1. One thing I need to get out of the way, show like this, best girl. And there was only one answer. There was only one correct answer. And that is Shion.
It's
Oh,
no.
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 Shion.
Yep. 100%.
Listen, Shion's amazing. The problem with Shion, and I'll establish it, she can't cook.
Yes, but
she has great qualities.
Wait till
amazing
season
assets.
2.
You gain the ability to resist poison, though.
You got listen. There. Season 1 is a fantastic setup. I have to be very careful now because I told you guys just to stop at season 1. And I know everything. There's a lot of setup of what goes on in season 2, and if you watch season 2, she's best girl. I love her.
The hottest thing about her is I thought she was gonna be a total bitch, and then she's like fucking
and
bubbly and great.
And she's strong. She's great character, and her devotion to Rimuru is excellent. I love it. All of them is great. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, so we'll get in where that's so. All right, so this is everybody else's first time. Give you the guys to set up. Basically, it's your standard isekai. Guy dies in a random act of violence. He lived a pretty average, normal life in Japan. And as he gets ganked and as he's dying, as he's randomly saying things, we call it what's called the voice of the world, which connects the world that he's now going to, is listening to him and starts giving him attributes by his wishes. I wish I didn't feel pain. Wish it didn't hurt so much. I wish it wasn't so hot. Why am I hot and cold? And he gets reincarnated as a slime in another world, and it basically drops us into this first just in a cavern, and then he just rolls along until he encounters calamity level dragon catastrophe monster Veldora, and then it goes off from there. So as far as starting a show goes, Dermy, how did you feel with the whole start of this, getting through those couple first episodes? Were you grabbed?
I actually really
take a bit.
I liked how it started. I liked how it progressed. I liked how it changed. I liked the world building. I do have criticisms of the show, but for the most part, like the beginning itself, I really enjoyed and I didn't have a problem with it. I liked almost every aspect, and I actually didn't mind an overpowered character for once.
Oh, That's well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Rimuru, as an overpowered character, he gets these chats, but he still kind of earns it, and he still has to train because there are. I mean, you right away, even in season 1, when they drop in Malim Nava, one of the demon lords. In fact, the oldest demon lord. They drop her in there. That is a power check right there. Because even in season 2, with everything happened in season 2, even though Rimuru is still here, she is still here in terms of power. And Rimuru still, he's not the all-powerful being. And it's not like a lot of other isekai shows which go, oh, here's your super powerful protagonist who can beat everybody. No, he still has issues that are gonna that still will happen. And even I can't say because it's happens at the beginning of season 2, but the power checks are there, and Rimuru is not all powerful. He's just a smart guy, though, who's able to use his abilities and not get out of control. So, Shock, how did you feel about it on the opening parts, getting into it?
Yeah, I think the show was pretty flawless until I forgot the name of the first demon lord of one of the orc demon lord,
the orc catastrophe.
Gerald. Right up until there.
Geld.
Yeah. Once they got to Demon Lord Geld is when I started like losing track of like the rules of the anime. And from there, it's a lot of just like ally building. I'm like, all right, well, like, where's the conflict? But then as it's pretty clear, it teases you like as the world gets bigger, it's like, oh, the world's always getting bigger. And it teases where it could all start to fall apart. So even when I thought it like the pacing got a little choppy, my interest was still peaked where I'm just like, dude, so this is like Slime Jesus, right? Everyone meets him and loves him. Like that's who he is.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Because that's his superpower. That's what makes him superior, is that people love him. And when he meets a foe that's too strong for him, he uses his charm and his like his heart basically to make allies instead of enemies. And so the more you, because every character is fantastic, so you feel like this community is like a family. And as the family gets bigger, and I'm like, all right, so what is this, just like a friend making simulator? And then it's like, no, like I'm kind of worried when this all may start to fall apart as like
it does
the real conflict can happen.
Let me say this without spoiling. You say Rimuru just wants to make friends with everybody. I gotta tell you, in season 2, the gloves come off and Rimuru gives no shits at a certain point. He becomes ruthless. He does become ruthless. I will say that.
That's good.
I'll say this. I watched the special episode at the end of the season for somebody that they teased later on.
Diablo.
I got a little spoiled at what might happen with Diablo. I don't know for sure, but I'm curious about what
Diablo is fantastic.
Because
here's the thing, he doesn't show up until the middle of season 2, when they aired season 2, they broke it into 2 parts. So he doesn't show up until the middle of season 2. But when he comes in, Diablo is great, and he has much more to do in the movie, and then that arc and the movie arc as well. But Diablo is great. He's one of my favorites as well. So that you guys bring this up though. This is a show. Its strength is its characters. And all these characters are fun. They have deep stories. They have backgrounds. It does that anime thing where
the only character I hate is Gabiru.
Gabiru is a dick.
I like Gabiru,
but he's a lovable dick.
He reminds me of a retarded Falco.
Here's the thing: Gabiru quickly learns his place, and once people are a part of Tempest, they fall into these roles and they all get better every time. They're all they evolve. All the characters evolve and grow in proper ways. And sometimes it does take a while because a lot of the characters, the best stuff, and I hate to say it because it may sound like a cop-out, the best stuff usually doesn't really happen until season 2. Because like you said, you talk about the Orc Disaster Geld, the first Geld, because he renames his son Geld. A lot of that is pure setup for events of season 2.
That's only a cop-out if like the character isn't likable. You know what I mean? It's just that the characters are likable. You're just kind of like, all right, well, like, when does it get interesting with character I like? Because that's still a boring show within itself. So I wouldn't say that's like that argument that people like to use. It's like, yeah, no. All the characters are likable, like you said.
Yeah, Rimuru, you instantly are okay with him because he's just like, wow, I just died, but I'm completely accepting of that because here I am, and I'm going to live my life to the fullest now, even though I'm just a slime. And
I like how he uses the he basically all his experience just comes from all the video games and like movies that he's watched. Like that's a cool little detail. I feel like I related.
And he loves boobs.
Here's the biggest problem, though. Here's my biggest problem. He's so happy at the elf boob bar.
Yes, me too.
Yet he's got the milk at home. He's got the cow at home. He sits there. And Shion is constantly resting on his head.
To be fair,
that was before
the elf bar was before all that. This was the first time he got boobs to rest on, but he did have the goblinas.
Here's the thing.
Oh, the goblinas are hot.
Minor spoiler: he still has a thing for the elf bar. And
yes,
he's got an elf. Rimuru has an elf fetish.
I do too.
Well, you can tell that. Elves. You can tell that, especially when he's showing Shizua, his hard drive.
Yeah.
So, I love it. Please delete my hard drive. I love how he's dying. Make sure you destroy my hard drive.
Destroy it.
Right.
I'll name my child after you. I love how the dark elf is the one that fortune tells. I think that's kind of like a cool like it illustrates the world that the foreign elf is the one that does fortune telling.
But you brought it up, Shock. They give you these great characters, but at the same time, the world building. The world slowly expands and it continues in each season. You get more and more. And I can have to be very careful about. Well, actually, I can sort of dip into it. I like how in this show, some of the old school tropes are turned on their head. For instance, the idea of demon lords. Here you got. Now we get introduced. There are a total. I think they mentioned it for season, so it's not a spoiler. There are a total of 10 demon lords in this world.
They didn't say that.
They did. Okay, so you get. And you only get introduced to Malene, Claven, Frey, and
the fairy
chick, and Claven and Leon. I mean, and of course,
of Leon,
and you see what's his name, the Beast King demon. I suddenly forgot his name. You see him, you don't actually get much of him there, but you get introduced to the first 5 of them. So, but you get the idea. You get Malene. Malene is she's basically a force of nature, is what she is, but she's not evil. She's
chaotic neutral.
She's chaotic, and she simply wants to have fun. And yes, are there going to be evil demon lords? Yes, but the whole demon lord trope is not the standard.
Well, they ended up explaining it.
Yeah,
towards the very end, they said
grace.
They were fall from grace.
It's a little more than that. It's season 2 stuff that I can't talk about.
Oh yeah,
there's more to it. And you get, I will say this, I can't say this because you get the tidbit of it. You remember when Rimuru defeated the Orc Disaster Geld, he acquired the Demon Lord seed. So there are factors to becoming a true Demon Lord, and the things are all set up for what is a Demon Lord and how does it react to this world. And it's what I really appreciate, though, is that it's not, oh, look, the demon lords are evil. They're trying to destroy the world. No, in a sense, the demon lords are kind of just doing their thing for the most part.
They're kind of like embassies. They're kind of just like structures of like power. You know what I mean?
They don't mess with the humans, essentially.
Yeah.
They have their realm.
They kind of just want to be left alone for the most part and left to do their own thing.
Certain ones. Other ones, once more, it's season 2 stuff. I can't spoil it, but it's a great structure of the powers in this world. And they tease in season 1, and they show you, and they expanded on season 2 that these are not things that are trying to it's not your standard destroy the world demon lord. This is an intricate part of this world. It's a naturally occurring event or creature.
So I've gotten
has a place. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I got that impression too a bit because like every kind of criticism I felt like I was having, I immediately kind of was just like, oh no, wait, this just explains why the world's more like this. A lot of the humans and the other races were just very accepting to having alliances.
Mhm.
And I think it just kind of shows like human nature is always going to be wholesome. So then where does the evil come from? The evil, not evil. We're talking about like chaoticness. Where does chaos come from? People always want to say humans are evil. Chaos comes from humans. But in this world, it comes from these demon lords. And most of the races kind of just want to ally as it is. And it's like, where's all the conflict going to come from? It's going to come from when it gets complicated, when these demon lord, like
certain demon lords. So some of them, there is a thing that they do season 1. Basically, the demon lords are really bored with their very, very long lives. And they'll sometimes F around, or actual devil demons, like Jeremy saw it, like Diablo. There are the demon lords aren't necessarily demons; they're just called demon lords. But actual demons like Diablo and another one, they have to come through and get a corporeal body, because they're magical energy, basically. They're spiritual magical energy, they don't have a form. And those things are actual troublemakers and evil. The demon lords are basically a massive faction in this, and there is the human element. You bring that up, Shock. You've been introduced to 2 human factions, and there's other stuff in season 2 you're going to come and get involved with that show you that, oh no, the humans are a problem, but it's still manipulated by certain demon lords, even though the humans are assholes. There are assholes.
And I'll say the special at the end when you get introduced to Diablo, he's Noir right now, or Black, whatever you want to call him.
Noir. Yeah, Noir.
It does show you like, hey, there are like pure evil beings in this world when you're dealing with that demon general down in the crypt of that kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because most of the humans in the races, they all get along really well.
It depends, because it depends on where you go. Like if you go to Dwargon, the dwarf nation, that's the template on which Rimuru wants to build Tempest. But the other ones still have humans that look down on monsters, either weak or stupid or dumb. What do you think of the concept of the show where names have so much power?
I wanted to bring that up. I love that. I think that's super cool. It kind of reminds me of like, I feel like that influence kind of came from like how, like, Asia's history, because Asia was once a big mighty nation, and then different families had to sell their names to other families with different cultures just to survive. And so you have the not the ogres, right? You had the ogres who had to completely get rid of their names, somewhat keep their culture to just keep their families and their close friends alive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that it comes from how like Asia and like all their families like grew.
I also like how, depending on who names you, can also change how you respond to it. Gabiru is a good example of this. He was named by whatever his fucking name was. The guy that
Gelmud.
Yeah, he was named by Gelmud.
One of Demon Lord Claven's Majin.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be fodder. He wasn't really properly named, which is why he was retarded.
He was just retarded. He wasn't proper. He was named and went through the whole process, but when he got named by Rimuru, because he found out you can overwrite names, he changed into a different being altogether. Like, he evolved differently.
Rimuru gives purpose. Well, before he was literally just his purpose was to be eaten so that he can help the demon lord become bigger. That was it. That's one problem. Sorry, go for it.
No, go on. Finish it off. Go for it.
No, it's gonna change the subject.
Okay. Well, that's I really found it interesting how it's a very old fantasy trope where names have power, and if you know something's true name, you either gain control of it, or in this case, if you give it a true name, you give it true power. And you brought a point. Rimuru, when he gives the name, he also gives himself, because he gives of his own magical battery to give somebody the name. And he doesn't just give one name, he gives everything, because what he does is create actual society and culture. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I kind of like how Shock put it. He gives them purpose. He gives them a reason to exist outside of just being a monster.
Yeah.
And the way and I think the show actually, I didn't even think of the purpose aspect, but now that I look at it, that does actually explain like Gabiru. That does explain like all the other monsters. Where you saw Gabiru, he was named at one point. gets his name overridden by a different person, completely changes how he looks, some of his actions, how he does stuff, because now he has a true purpose in life besides just being fodder or a random monster.
Slime Jesus.
And it's also the power behind it, because Rimuru has power.
Yeah.
And he gives that power over, which is why everybody he names evolves into the next level of their genetic evolution.
Yeah.
Orcs become high orcs, the ogres become Kijin, the goblins, various types of goblins, his
and
because that was bittersweet to see. It's kind of like they had to change their cultures to move forward and grow as a family. That's why I think a lot of that Asian influence comes from, because I was very bittersweet seeing their changes. Like, oh, whoa, I like that character, but he looks so different. And then you got used to him as it went on.
I can't believe he got used to Shion. It didn't take
long.
long.
Yeah, no, it didn't take long.
I decided, you know what? I'm going to be, if I get transported to that world, I'm naming all the lizard ladies, because my God,
you want them to
that
be the dragon
change.
Technically, I mean, it's just, we learn season 2 spoilers again, that they're also the same. It's just a different offshoot of draconic evolution. Because the lizard men are born from dragons of the ancient past.
That's where I got really confused. I was like, "Wait, how are they dragons?" But
there's a little more explanation. There's an entire explanation to it in a certain encounter towards the end of season 2. So it's there. It's there.
Listen, Gabiru's sister is hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Before we even got Shion, listen, I'm not normally into goblin chicks, but those goblerinas, man.
Oh, the goblins were hot as hell, dude.
They made goblins sexy. How do you make goblins sexy?
I know
they did it.
I mean, listen, I'm used to Goblin Slayer, where it's like, okay, we'll go kill some goblins, which is no. I'm going to. I will murder those goblerinas. I will murder them straight up.
Yeah. No, those are the goblins you colonize. You don't murder them. You just kill the men.
But it's a fascinating thing how everybody. I love seeing the evolutions of the different creatures. That's one of my favorite things. How everybody changes and grows, and
the Kijin were so cool.
Oh yeah, listen, Benny Morrow is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
up there because he's just a beast. He is a complete and total beast, and unfortunately, even through season 2, you only get snippets of his power, and in the movie, you get a clear idea of where he is power level wise. But it's just glorious when he unleashed during the battle of the orcs, when you just see the globes of black flame everywhere.
So my favorite line actually comes up after that, when they're taking on something that I don't really like how that all played out, but the other calamity monster thing that they had.
Charybdis.
Yeah, when they were taking on Charybdis, my favorite line does come from that fight. There's Benny Morrow just nuking the place.
Yeah.
That's my favorite line, because it's like, yeah, and I like it. Let's go.
Listen, I understand how there is weakness to the Charybdis arc, because it's Rimuru not realizing that it has nothing to do with him. And as soon as like, oh, Malim, you can play with it now. And now I do love it when Malim cuts loose in any time, because there's her special effect where you hear that sound effect where everything just kind of gears up and then she just split launches into attack. I love that. But the thing about the Charybdis thing is it's a setup for again, it's all set up. I'm sorry to keep saying that, but it's all set up for even better things that happen in season 2, with relationships with the Beast Kingdom in season 2.
So I'm just going to go to what my big issue with all this is. And you're right. Okay. It does look like a lot of setup. My big issue with the show is it just feels like things are happening and there is no real goal. I get it. He's trying to build a society. He's trying to build this particular area.
I started to feel that a bit.
All right. Okay.
After the orc arc, it really just felt like things started happening.
Yeah.
And what is our ultimate goal here? What is our ultimate drive?
And then he forgets and then he kind of forgets his promise to Shizu. And it's like, well, should you kind of done that first?
He remembers his he gets reminded of the promise.
Yeah.
And he then goes off and does his promise, which I did like, because that was a goal, but
that should have been done like kind of first before.
Well, I think
I like it later.
See, I'm okay. Here's the thing. There's different parts of this. One, there is a complete purpose, and it's coming together it's all season 2, and I can't talk about it without spoilers. Although you understand it's kind of there. It has to do with the moderate Harlequin Alliance and who they work for and who is pulling the string, literally pulling the strings of all these different events that happen in season 1. Once you start with the orc invasion, it's all the orc invasion, Charybdis. It's all one person trying to do something who's being controlled by yet another person who you learn about and who you gets revealed in season 2.
What I would say is like they hinted that there's something else going on here. Just I needed a little bit more than a hint. I do want to continue watching because I want to know where it goes, but like,
yeah, for sure.
It started feeling like after the orc arc, which I love the orc arc.
It slows down after Charybdis goes really quickly, and then the whole saving the kids thing, it slows down.
Well, you don't as long as you're setting up, I guess air quotes, setting up more things, it doesn't bother me because if you keep like raising up more, if I have more questions about the show, I don't get bored. Because I got to the point where I was kind of like, okay, they're just making friends, they're just growing. But as long as there were more things I had questions on, my interest kept like
it's the
peaking.
literal foundation. Because once in season 2, it's all story. After that, there's no because you've met all the major players at this point in terms of Rimuru's group. Tempest is set now. Rimuru's whole building his allies and his family's personal circle. You're done. You see it all. You've seen it all now. In season 2, it's the progression of the events as they're moving forward towards certain villains' machinations, and even then, it's very well layered in that one as well.
I will say the special I think really helped all of season 1, and it is a special episode. The site that I use marks it down. This is not.
I have it as episode 25. It's listed as 25.
That was a curveball because I was just like, wait.
It's a complete flashback. It just jumps you right into the past.
It was needed. Yeah. It was just so weird that was the last episode.
You know, I'd say that was an episode that was really needed because it does establish that there are truly evil things in this world. There's a mystery behind what Diablo or Noir or whatever the heck you want to call them right now. There's something here. And also one of the other aspects that they show is Noir is not the only one of these like progenitor style demons.
The mask helps you from not aging. That's why Shizu was able to live.
No. That's not why she didn't age. No, there's a reason she did. There's
another reason.
The mask is purely a power suppressor. That's all it is.
It said that's why she wasn't going to age though.
No, that was her. I think the reason she wasn't aging was because of Ifrit.
Yeah. And because she didn't make a pure bond with Ifrit, which is why she dies when she dies, because she never completed her contract. That's why the kids, when they got their spirits and
so what does Diablo mean when he says, "Oh, it's the mask that depresses time"? I didn't know a human could take advantage of such an item.
I think that might have been a mistranslation because it's depressing the power.
It does say depresses time and utilizes infinity. What I will say, I think that's to help depress the magic power itself. Is using time magic.
It's connected to something that even I don't know about yet because I only know everything up to the end of the movie. Because I haven't started watching season 3 yet. I'm waiting until the season. The season is.
So is that going to involve Chloe because her spirit is from?
I don't know about that. I have no idea what that's about.
Because she has to fuck with the time like goddess people. She's getting involved with time travel.
I feel like it has something to do with the original hero who gave Shizu her mask,
and who imprisoned Veldora. Yeah, that's something that they show. They were saying this is a future spirit, but I'm more hinting that spirit's actually a past spirit.
Here's the thing: every time when Rimuru was interacting with Chloe, there was a flash of Veldora every time, and there's something connected to the hero and Chloe and Veldora. I don't know this. I don't know this. Go ahead. Go.
I have a crazy idea. This is just a Dermy theory.
Okay. All right, hang on. Let me spray the room. So we're not.
No, this is like my brain is like firing on all cylinders right now, and that's why you see smoke.
Keep that hamster running hard.
And I can't remember the little girl's name, the one that runs to read the book all the time.
Chloe.
Could she actually be the original hero?
I don't know.
And now my theory about that is
Don't know.
The woman specifically, the demon lord specifically said her spirit is from the future, had something to do with time stuff.
It has to.
They focus on her a lot.
It came
It
back,
was-
so that spirit had to come back to make sure that her future is created. It's timey-wimey shit. Which
It's
they didn't go-
timey-wimey shit. So
But
just follow
it's-
me on.
Yeah. I know
Follow
what
me
you're
on
saying.
this
I know what you're
because, and when I was looking at that spirit, remember that spirit kissed Rimuru.
Mhm.
She little girl specifically told Rimuru, "I love you."
saying.
Yeah.
Why can't you say that in
Val-
10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, Valdora was reacting to that spirit and the little girl from the very beginning. It wasn't just when the spirit came down; it was when he first saw the little girl. I think the original hero is that little girl.
That'd be cool.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
It
that
is
I
a
say-
it's a theory.
It's a theory. It has some grounding. But I don't know. Even I don't know because I haven't spoiled myself for the future of the franchise. I'm going as the anime delivers. So we'll see.
And
we'll see.
I will say, like both the special and the very last episode really helped out the season for me in the long run
Mhm.
because I want to know how does the little boy react to the random light spirit. I want to know more about the light spirit.
Yeah, he
I
got
wanna
the
know
gay
more about-
spirit.
Well,
I want to know more about the time traveling spirit. I want to see why the hell
I
did
don't
he have to
know
summon a
anything about
demon
the-
to create a golem.
they haven't. Oh,
Yeah, that was random.
they
That was
didn't say-
random, and I'm sitting here
Yeah,
like, why did you
don't get that
cockblock me?
story, but you do get more of them. Romarius and Beretta do come back in season 2. I don't think it's spoilers to say because I don't know. We haven't got. You get a little bit more of the kids at the beginning of season 2 because
And
the final
I
when
know
you
that
see
already.
Rimuru leaving and giving them their Harry Potter uniforms before he goes, that's actually a little bit after events of the beginning of season 2. So what you see there is when he's leaving the city. What is it? Whatever that capital. Whatever that city was.
Free
Oh,
Union.
Yeah, Free Union. When he's leaving the Free Union, that is right at the crux of all the horrible shit that's going to go down in the beginning of season 2. So there a lot that's you get a little bit of a skip forward. So when you start season 2, do not be confused because it's picking up before he leaves the school.
Okay, so I did decide to sit down and try to start season 2 last night, but
You
it
got
was just
confused.
too late. I got confused. 2, it was way
Yeah.
too late. It was
It's-
like 3 a.m. It was
Yeah.
like I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'll pick this up later because
I
I
was
do wanna
playing Final
continue
Fantasy
this.
14 at that time.
I do want to actually continue this because it was like
You're
I want to know where this is going. Especially
Season
yeah,
since
two,
I'm
Diablo.
good.
I think when you watch season 2, and we could talk about this later after you've watched it. Yeah, I think you are going to fall in love with the show as much as I have because season 2 is when it really fully grabs you. I love season 1, but the events of season 2, as I said, it takes it up to the next level
Wow.
in terms of
Just
character
want- I
development
just want
and
Diablo.
you get Diablo.
I want to
his
see how
introdu-
Diablo evolves.
I want elves.
He,
More elves.
Listen, he's still Diablo.
He's still Diablo, but I want to.
He's more powerful, but he's still he's just gets his name, and he's cool. The stuff he does. When he gets introduced in the middle of what he gets introduced with, oh man! All I gotta say is, I will say this before Rimuru, due to the events in the first half of season 2, ruthless is an understatement. Because I know you guys are worried. Oh, is it the old joke with Pokemon? Let's be friends. Yeah, that still exists because Rimuru wants good relations with other nations, but he has his. Oh, you done fucked up.
So that's my review of the show because I like the filler episode, like I guess they call it cozy kind of anime where it's just characters, it's just story. I like that stuff, but the beginning of the show was kind of like a mystery fantasy anime, and so then like the way he gains all his powers was super cool, and then he becomes overpowered, which is also really cool. But then you're like, okay, well, he's overpowered, so the fighting scenes aren't going to be intensely interesting, but it's the story, it's the world building that keeps the show interesting. So the anime turns more into like a RPG. It reminds me of like Mass Effect or something, where it's a very story based RPG more than it is enjoying really cool action scenes.
But the action when you get it, Sarkaris, the animation quality is top notch. So they're not reusing clips. It's every motion perfectly designed, perfectly choreographed.
And I'll push back on what Shock said, because I did like the fight scenes, especially when Rimuru was fighting. Like the orc arc is my favorite arc. Because I did like what was going down there. I did like how this was all playing out. Yes, we said his name earlier, the orc catastrophe guy. Yeah, he was a villain, but he's also an example of how you can do a sympathetic villain and a good way.
Yeah,
he was corrupted. It wasn't his fault. I mean, you get that flashback. He rips off his own arm to feed orclings.
And he specifically said he has this massive regeneration ability, so he can just constantly do this. But he's trying to help.
He was manipulated by evil forces to do something. He didn't want to become a calamity level monster. He didn't want to do that. And he said, I'm doing this for my people. I'm doing this for my people. And Rimuru understands that. And I love that part where he says, I will take your sins on what you did. I will care for your people.
Even though I knew Rimuru was going to win that fight, could there possibly be a way that Rimuru loses here? Just because of like gluttony versus his it wasn't gluttony at the time, it was like starvation versus predator.
That's my big question. So I had this question, and then after I saw the flashbacks with them, I really like the flashback. I like the characters. I like the arc, but I was really confused. I'm shocked that the starvation ability wasn't used or utilized as much. And I'm also confused, if he absorbed starvation, how come he doesn't have a hunger?
Because it requires it did evolve. Predator did evolve to gluttony after that. And what happens is, in order for him to get something, he has to have Great Sage analyze it. And so
okay, that does help out, because I was like, why didn't he get all the abilities of the Sky Dragon? Why didn't he get these abilities? Why didn't he get this?
If Great Sage doesn't analyze it, it doesn't get incorporated into Rimuru's arsenal.
Like there was a moment when you had the Demon Lord and Orc Catastrophe using that very specific move. That's actually kind of cool move. I was wondering, why didn't Rimuru get that? Why isn't he using that now? I mean, he's absorbing it. Why don't you have this? Oh, okay, he actually has to analyze it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a question, I guess, of if it can be analyzed.
So can he just absorb items and energy freely?
Yes.
Or does he have to absorb it, or predator?
No, when he just absorbs a creature, Great Sage can analyze certain aspects of their abilities or innate genetic traits and stuff like that. I think that's pretty much how it works.
And now that you say that also, when he was making the manga, just give me paper, let me use Great Sage, and then I'll print you out manga.
And that's Great Sage working on his memories. Even if he can't exactly remember it, Great Sage can literally delve into the memories. Basically, perfect recall.
Shit, you know what? No. Shock. I think Reincarnated as a slime is Adam's future.
Well,
eidetic memory.
Listen,
he has an eidetic memory.
I have half.
He does.
It's half. I don't have a perfect.
Okay, so Adam won't be slime Jesus, but he'll be a slime.
Listen,
he's just slime.
Listen. If that gets me Shion
titties.
If
that gets me resting on a pair of titties.
Listen.
Why does he? Here's the thing. He can't feel anything, so he only goes to the spa to see titties.
Well, in slime mode, yes. There's a running gag. Why didn't I go over to that side? Over here.
Yeah.
That's a running gag. And they accept him over there because
he can't feel the hot water anyway.
And not in slime mode. Problem is, once he gets a human mode, and he does, if you notice, and it continues through season 2, his human body does keep evolving as he reaches different levels, and he gets a little less effeminate each time because he goes.
Well, he has to put effort into looking that way.
He still hasn't created a penis for himself yet, though.
I know. Why isn't he? Okay, you know what? I'm glad this is. Oh, what's up? You got a joke?
No, I'm like, wait, he doesn't have a penis. But you're a slime dude. Why haven't you made yourself a penis? You specifically showed, hey, I can make myself look however I want. I could be more masculine.
Bro, you could just make yourself a slime dildo.
Like that,
he hasn't decided to. He hasn't decided to do it yet.
Okay, I'm just so glad this is a Japanese show because I do not want the freaking tranny woke tards to like analyze this crap.
No,
I mean,
he
I
is a
could see it
dude.
right now.
He's a dude.
I could
yeah.
see it. I could see it right now. He's a bisexual, non-binary because he specifically makes some comment. He specifically makes some comments about
dudes being
the ninja dude and the samurai guy.
Yeah, but no, that's the Japanese trope of the hot guy. That's what that commentary is. That's the hot guys who are good at shit. He is not attracted to men. He says that over and over again. He is attracted to
He's
women.
basically saying like the more I name people, the more attractive they get. It's just an observation.
Yeah.
I was picking up on it.
No,
I was getting a little confused there.
No, there's no gayness.
He doesn't even like hot naked women with A cups, bro. Like he's like, you gotta have double D's or he's not interested.
He specifically said, by looking at Melina, I can analyze. She's flat.
She's flat.
Now she's thousands of years old. So just remember that she is thousands of years old.
She doesn't have A cups. She at least has B cups.
She does. She has some boobage. It depends on the angle and what art team was being involved in that moment.
She's got the tight butt. That's what matters.
Yeah,
and she's got a great personality.
Yeah, Malim is not a child though. She is thousands of years old. Especially when you sort of get her backstory in season 2.
I hate that stuff, bro. It's like you're telling me a girl who's like 4'8" is not allowed to have love because they're the same size as like a middle schooler. Like you're retarded. I hate the short thing, meaning you're a kid.
Yeah,
there's lollies, and Malim doesn't quite fall into that category.
No, she doesn't.
Lolly is you are pretending. You're saying goo goo gaga when you're
also because her ass is hanging out of her bikini.
Oh yeah,
all the fucking.
It's great.
There is a difference between Lolly and
I loved
Melina.
her intro.
I don't defend lollies at all. I think
no.
A little bit too far. Melina's not a lolly.
Malim is not a lolly. She's she has a childlike appearance for reasons that you will understand in season 2. Because you can kind of get the idea Malim has a bit of a mental problem. She's not.
I would say she has a teenage body, not
that
a childlike
brash,
body.
chaotic like personality always means they're staying positive because they're trying to mask something. That's usually what that personality means.
I will say it's not so much masking; she's kind of blocked it all out.
That's what I mean. Yeah. You're blocking something out negative and focusing on being positive, but you end up being destructive because you're so carefree.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
Is she related to dragons?
Am I allowed to answer this?
I think they kind of hint to it actually.
They say she has like a dragon millennium.
Both give me permission to answer this.
Yes.
Yeah, just say if she's okay. That's all
I swore they said she was a dragon.
They said that she had a dragon millennium eye. She was mentioning stuff about dragons. It's like, are you related to dragons in some way? I want to know.
I will
say
yes.
They don't. That's all I needed to know.
So does that,
don't need to know anymore.
There's no real like sorcerers. It's just demons, right? You're a monster and you have
there are sorcerers. There are human sorcerers in this world. You have a
there are human sorcerers.
I think they mentioned mages, and there's one character.
They're not sorcerers.
One of the adventurers use.
Listen,
one of the adventurers does use magic.
You will get all your answers for Malim in season 2. You will get all your answers on what her background is, who and what she is. You get them all, so there's no mystery there. And the growth of them into season 2, but between Malim and everything, it's really good. It's really good.
She goes from an A cup to a C cup.
No, not that kind of evolving. No, not that kind.
You need. I believe in boba representation. You got double D's, you got C's, you got some A's.
There is plenty of boob representation in this show. There's all kinds, and they are all welcome.
We can respect,
and they are all appreciated. They are.
They managed to make you want a lizard girl. They managed to do. They managed to make you want a goblin.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the gobblerinas, they're fine. I mean,
they're always. There's been
Gabiru's sister. Yes, she can grow horns and wings, but just like the Kijin, her body is still very human. I don't mind that Shion has a horn. I'm okay with that.
Dude, I love horns, bro. They look cool. They look sick.
They're just handlebars.
They're just gosh.
Dude, I would be holding on for dear life with Shion because she is powerful. She is also very strong.
She's super strong.
She's what Gal wishes she could be.
Uh-oh. She here?
No. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, a rare compliment I have for this show is this is the best because I listened to both sub and dub because I was doing some
I've
things.
done both. I've done both. Yeah,
dude, dub has been garbage since like the 90s. Like I'm really shocked. Like the voice acting was pretty good on the dub.
it improves. Something around the mid 2000s is when dubs became better. They started taking better care of the dialogue and the basically the emoting. And I like the dub. I've listened to them both, and I enjoy the dub. I really do like the changes of Rimaru's modern day cat phrases. What's up, my dude? What's up?
Some of them.
I like some of them.
Some, I hate awesome sauce.
That's the cringe app.
That's the cringe one.
50-50.
Yeah.
There's good and
I didn't
there's
like
bad.
Swole.
Yeah,
I hated Swole too. Yeah, that
I
was
agree,
stupid. What did they say in the sub? I didn't see the last 2 episodes.
Oh, I don't remember. It's been a while since.
I gotta rewatch it.
I'll be watching season 3. It'll be subbed because that's what'll be available in a few weeks. But no, I agree. It's like 50-50.
Big props.
What Rimuru does is fun. The other times it is a little too cringe.
Yeah. And he like the girl, like, because most boys are voiced by girls, but he's not he's the boy, but he's a slime. He's a creature. Yeah, he's a cute little creature, so that the voice blends it perfectly. So yeah,
and that was
good voice acting.
It was a good interesting thing they did right away. They had his original voice, and as he's becoming a slime, it switched to his slime voice.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna, because there's some shows where when a character in isekai shows, when they transition from the previous life, they in their minds they retain their original voice.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
They're speaking with their new voice, and I like it that they just stuck with the one voice.
Me too.
One of my complaints about Jobless Reincarnation is in his mind he still speaks with his original voice, the main character Rudy, but he speaks vocally with his new world voice.
I actually don't mind the way they did this. I actually do kind of like that because it helps you mind that this was a different person in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fan of Overlord because, again, I don't like overpowered characters.
I love Overlord.
Oh, I don't like overpowered characters at all.
Really?
But when it comes to like this time, like he was overpowered, but they did check him. Oh, I did like though in Overlord how it was the balance of when he's speaking to himself, that reminds you this wasn't his original body. There's something else going on.
That's a different situation. I mean, the thing about Rimuru is Rimuru in his original life, he had accomplished a certain level of professional status at this point. He had done things. He was an adult. He was 37 when he bought it. The problem with in Overlord with Momonga, who becomes Ainz, that's a different situation of he has no idea what the fuck he's doing when he's Ainz. And even though I love that show so much, that is a dichotomy of that show, is that he just kind of lucks into it. Rimuru, he was an accomplished adult who had a life, who was able to do things, who, even though he didn't have much of a social life, had a good professional life. He knows how to do things. He knows how to deal with people. He knows how to build things because he worked with contractors. So he's able to be proficient and confident and competent. And that is, I agree, one of the failings of Overlord is that Ainz kind of just fumbles along and gets lucky a lot. Rimuru, he properly sets everything up to accomplish his goals because he looked at them from the realistic point of an adult who has lived an adult life.
Oh, he could be a tyrant and just start conquering people, bro. He's like the greatest mage of all time.
Yeah. And so there's that this show works on many levels. We already discussed the fact that it has a strong character foundation. You enjoy all these characters, and when you get to as the villains are going to get revealed, it's got despicable villains that you will despise. I love nothing more than despising a villain. Or in terms of a couple, I mean, she's mentioned. You see her for a second in the final episode in 24. Hinata Sakaguchi. You see her, and she is going to be frustrating for the moment. You will see her in season 2.
She looks like she's going to be a pain in the ass.
And now season 3 is when she gets center stage according to the promotional material I've seen her, because that's where the arc's moving. So Hinata is a problem, both as one of those characters where, oh, bitch, why are you being such a bitch? Why are you being such a bitch? It's one of those types of characters. But then the villains are despicable. But then there are the in-between villains. Like when you meet the other demon lords in season 2, you're going to be like, oh, man, these are such interesting characters. The way they're being set up. They could be allies or enemies. And at this point, they literally are just right down the middle. You don't know, and that makes them fascinating, especially as they become fascinated with Rimuru, the whole events of the back half of season 2. And it's got the characters, and it's, as you said, one of the things we complain about the most in modern day Western stuff is the lack of world building.
Yeah.
And you guys have mentioned how you liked it. This show carefully takes it one step at a time of, oh, I like this world building moment on top of this event. Oh, we've just expanded our scope of what's going on here. And
they also call back to events.
Mhm.
They at the very end when he's going up against the golem, they specifically call back to something that they mentioned in like the first couple of episodes. The whole
in the Dwargon arc.
magic, the Dwargon arc, the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that was the leftover from from the Magic Warrior experiment, and Ramirez took it up and she rebuilt it, and so it's everything. There is this is one of the shows over well. There's a lot of connective tissue between everything. Not one of the things about this show, and I think you guys are catching on to it. Not everything is done with a purpose in the show. There's nothing just left dangling out there. Every moment, every interaction, every character is done with a purpose that will follow up either to build somebody's personal character arc or to help the story grow or the world expand farther. And they do it without exposition. They show you the stuff. They give you the nuts and bolts of it while making it interesting, not just, look, this is happening here.
A good example of that is two things. One, after they beat Charybdis, they specifically bring those scales back to the city, and I see the dwarves going over them, talking about what they could do with them. It's like, okay, I want to see where this goes. I want to know, what are you going to do with these things? That's my RPG crafting thing.
Yeah, I definitely had
what can you do with that stuff?
And then go finish
the merchant. The merchant. I want to know, how is the merchant going to assist them properly? Is this going to bring them more goods? Is this going to give them more connections? How is this all going to play out? Is he going to be a jackass and try to screw them over? I want to know. Okay, I want to know.
And what I always love, and this is something I love about anime. I know we probably talked about it in the past. Food always looks so good in anime. They make it's like, oh, we've got these giant undead sharks. We're going to eat them. We're going to make sushi. We're going to make fillets. We're going to have fun with it. Let's have a party, celebration. And they celebrate and have a good time, and you get more of the character action. That's why this show works so well, is not just the character growth, but their interactions, because it creates amusing and memorable moments.
One last thing, character growth. A good example is Gabaru. He barely evolves when he gets named, but he's incredibly strong.
Who was
you mean Gobda? No, you mean Gobda.
Gobda, yeah.
Gobda.
Doesn't change at all. Still
they always get these annoying characters that you hate, but by the end you like, oh, it's Gobda. I like Gobda. But you're like, you hated him in the beginning.
From being annoying to, dude, I want to see you grow more. I want you to keep training.
He gets his moments. He gets his moments in season 2.
He got his moments in season 1. It's like, I want more of these moments.
But he gets moments. He gets more moments. Real quick, James Frazier, 360 for 10 pounds. Adam, remember I told you a friend and I are writing a comedy fantasy isekai light novel? We're in the outlining world building stage. I want to ask you 3 about isekai tropes you like, dislike. # Iron Age. Okay, that fits right in what we're talking about. Dermy, why don't you go first? What did you like and dislike about isekai tropes?
What I like about them is I like how you can fish out of water stories, usually, trying to learn a brand new world, how it builds up. What I don't like, even though I like Sword Art Online and I like this, I don't like overpowered characters. And a lot of times when it comes to isekai stories, even with Log Horizon, you have a character come in and they're overpowered. That's a problem I have.
You just listed 2 of them. You got Sword Art Online and Log Horizon. Yes, especially in Log Horizon, they come in overpowered, but they still have to work at it, and they have to grow in it, especially in season 2 of Log Horizon, where they get humbled hard with their abilities.
And I can agree with that. But
Sword Art Online, Kirito earns his stuff. He grows on his own. It's not, he doesn't start overpowered. And I love overpowered, but I love earned overpowered. That's what I love.
I can agree with that. A good isekai that I really like, that I know a lot of people hate, Rising of the Shield Hero.
I love it.
I think
I love
I
it.
know a lot of people hate season 2 because they focus on the turtle, and it's like the turtle actually has a reason. I
Yeah.
really love Rising of the Shield Hero. I love that style because he doesn't start off overpowered. He is the most strong. He's the strongest out of all of them, but you don't realize that until the end when he's starting to actually put the effort and work into it.
Mhm.
That's something I
And
like.
and the thing is, he's God, what's his name? I can't remember his name all of a sudden. In
I just
Shield
remember as
Hero.
a Shield Hero. I need to rewatch it. It's been a while.
I just watched season 3 a
Oh, I
couple
didn't know
months ago.
season 3 was out.
Oh yeah, season 3's out. It's been out
Ooh,
since it
I need
was
to go
good.
do a
I
complete
liked it.
rewatch.
I liked it. It was good. Almost remembered his name. Can't remember. Oh, that one, the main character. He gets so powerful because he actually, like I said, he puts the time in, but also he accepted the reality, and he also didn't treat it, because that's one of the things you get in season 3 is how you get more into the other heroes in season 3 and how they're all kind of broken, and they didn't treat this world for the reality it was, and that's why they're weaker than he is.
Mhm.
And that's a bit. I like Shihiro too. That's a good.
They hint, not to steer off track. They did
No,
hint
it's
at
fine.
that in season 1.
Yeah, they did. So I almost remembered his name again. Shit. But yeah, that's a good one. Shock, why don't you go next? What do you like and dislike about the isekai tropes?
Probably same thing where if they're gonna be overpowered, it needs to be a conflict of some sort of like authority or conflict with like
Mhm.
being responsible for others. It's kind of like why isn't there a good like Superman video game? It's because Superman can't die.
Mhm.
So if you raise enough stakes to make something interesting, then yeah, because I mean I always complain about postmodernism, but I still like stories that are grounded. And so if something is too overpowered and it does take me out of enjoying anything like TV or even manga or video games or stuff like that. But no, I think I really liked um Reincarnated as a slime because you got to see him grow. And then as you got to see him grow, he became responsible for more and more things. So as long as the stakes keep rising, doesn't matter how powerful they are. If there are things to care about, things to lose, then that's what creates a good story.
Like you can have a overpowered character, but there does need to be something that pushes them. Like it's going to be a struggle every so often.
And here's what I say. If you're going to do overpowered character, which is kind of what happens in isekai because it's your protagonist, I agree with everybody said. Build it. Don't make them super overpowered right away. Some of the ones I've hated the most, Smartphone. I think I couldn't get past first couple episodes of that one. Or there was another one, Death March into something. I forget that one. Death March. I hated that one because these characters, they instantly have their superpower, and they haven't grown or evolved and all.
Yeah.
And also decide with an isekai, don't try to walk the line too much between comedy and drama. Choose one and either have a little bit of the elements of the other one, but don't try to jump back and forth. Slime works really well in that it's a lighthearted one, but there is a drama at the core of it, and it gets more hardcore in season 2 and the movie, and definitely for when I see what's about to happen in season 3. But there are funny moments, but it's through the character interaction. It's not through events to make it silly or too much of a gag here and there. It's usually through.
I'll say a good, and I think this is a borderline isekai. Excel World. Really love Excel World. I'm arguing it's borderline because
it's like SAO because it's a digital
it's in the
world.
SAO.
Yeah,
it's in the SAO universe. It's that borderline thing. But what they do there is, yes, your main character is super strong, but he's growing at the same time. He's evolving and becoming more capable, and he gets pushed to his brink in the second season.
You have to make your character sympathetic in a likable sense. Don't make them annoying. That's why if we go back to one of the original OG isekais, Inuyasha, Kagome is likable.
Yeah.
Kagome is likable. And Inuyasha, he's not the transplanted one, even though he can go back and forth. Kagome is isekai, but they understood like I said, it's drama. Drama first,
Mhm.
comedy moments in there, but it's drama first,
And-
story first.
Well,
character
so
first.
all drama can have comedy because
Yes.
the point of comedy is to relieve tension. And
Yeah.
so it like your jokes need to be like 10% of your show, because when
Yeah.
the tense moments happen and then a funny moment happens, it changes the pace.
Exactly.
You can that yeah.
Not to take it away from anime or anything, but this is just storytelling and stuff. That's one of my issues with like Fallout right now.
Mhm.
They have serious moments, but then they do dumb joke for the sake of dumb joke.
Yes.
Well,
Or what
Marvel
you get
did
in
it
Marvel.
perfectly, and now that's modern Marvel, and that's what Fallout's doing. They're
Yeah.
doing the modern Marvel when they
Yeah.
were like perfection of comedy in the middle of a serious movie.
Yeah. This is just storytelling. You know, you want your comedy to land at a certain point, maybe to help lift something up or be introspective or something like that. But you don't want comedy for the sake of
Don't
comedy.
The only funny one was
Steal-
Lucy. Lucy was the only funny one. Oh,
But
and
don't-
Thaddeus.
Here's the problem: comedy can derail something.
Oh yeah.
It can derail a moment if you suddenly, an important moment, let it sit, let it happen, let it bubble, let it boil, let it then become something. Don't ruin the progress you've made with a character or the story with a cheap laugh.
Yep.
A good example is, again, taking it out of anime, Avengers, the very first Avengers movie. You have that whole them discussing possibly being influenced by the staff when they're all starting to argue with each other on the helicarrier.
You're all so tiny.
You're also
Yeah.
tiny, and you got that moment. Is Hulk gonna Hulk? Is he gonna Hulk out? They don't come in after that and do a dumb joke. That's an actual dramatic moment that they build up and they let it sit, and it leads into actual conflict.
Yeah.
That stuff but nowadays it would have had a dumb joke at that and then go.
Well, that's the problem. Nowadays, it's
Mhm.
not. Let's like, oh no, dumb joke, dumb joke, dumb joke. It's
Interrupt,
just constantly in your face. They never let anything settle. They never.
Well, because there's no plot to these shows either. Like the best meme of all, like of all the Marvel shows, was the "I got that" reference. Is because they have a problem. They're trying to figure it out. They have no solution. In the middle of all, they go, "I actually got that reference."
Yeah.
As you sit there in silence, being like, "Okay, but we're still screwed.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do?" And the story
Getting
continues.
it back to Isekai,
Mhm.
you want to, if you're gonna go one way, choose one and just commit to it, and don't derail your story by trying to force, let's just say, the previous world stuff into it. Eventually, what the best isekai work, in my opinion, when you get farther away from the original world stuff and work primarily then in the world you've built, the world where your protagonist has been transplanted to, whether they're reincarnated or they fell through a warp or a portal
Or
something like that.
Konosuba.
Yeah.
Konosuba is a great comedy.
Season 3 right now. I'm so excited to
Isekai.
watch it. I'm so excited to watch it. Apparently, I've heard that you saw the movie, right? You've seen the movie.
Not yet, but they are Netflix.
never
has
seen-
been, I only saw season 1. I haven't had a chance to see the rest.
Oh,
Netflix is starting to get them all though. They're
oh,
starting to get a
dude,
lot of good
dude,
anime.
dude, I've seen it like 3 times. I need to do a rewatch before I do it, because let's just say he's suffering our hero suffering PTSD from the events of the movie, where let's just say there was a penis involved.
No, Jesus Christ.
And-
That sounds hilarious. Another
so he's
ideas
suffering
of what
PTSD
you
over it.
ideas of what you shouldn't do in an isekai. We talked about it. The music was good, yeah. Some stuff we back and forth on. Fuck, I just had it. The mech that we watched that was an isekai.
Huh?
It was 2 months ago. We had Brandon on.
Oh, Escaflowne.
Escaflowne. I would say Escaflowne is what you don't do in an isekai.
Well, that's a problem. You had a character that was not sympathetic. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You need your main protagonist has to, from the other world, has to be sympathetic. And Hitomi was not sympathetic. Even though I still love Escaflowne, I always hate Hitomi because she's a dumb bitch through most of it.
And she's the villain.
We go watch us discuss Escaflowne. Go watch us discuss Escaflowne. We're not going back. But
Yeah.
those are the things, the important things I would say. As for what I don't like, I pretty much said what I don't like. I don't like relying too much on the previous world. I like it as you get deeper into the story, because then you got to remember you're in this world now, whatever it is, and you need to move beyond it. And if you're working to build that world, then go with it. And also, I would say, decide what kind of isekai world you're going to do. Don't. It's either have it be. Honestly, I believe you're going to do it. Go full on other world. Don't do digital world. Don't do sort of tangentially connected to our world. Go full on different world so that you can then play with the rules and you don't have to rely on ours so much. Because I like it when you can get farther and farther away. And I would then also say, have a good idea, have a good concept for how your protagonist's powers work, if that's the route you're going. How do they work? How do they evolve? There was one that was a year ago. I forget what it was called right now, but it was an isekai, and the character, it was called something summoner. I forget what it was called, something summoner. And what happened was he died, but he wasn't supposed to die. And the goddess who was reincarnating said, listen, you weren't supposed to die, so I'm going to rebuild you with all the strengths and this and that you want. So you go ahead, choose you want. And he had a really good gimmick in it that in order to maximize himself, he allowed her to take all his memories of the previous world away. He knew he lost them, but he allowed them to be taken away so he could get a super boost to one of his stats. That was an interesting gimmick, and it worked really well in that one. Now I like that one. I hope that one gets season 2. But
it's actually what I liked about Excel World. Not Excel World, but Sword Art Online. The last one that they did, I can never say its name right.
Alicization.
Yeah, that's what I really liked at the beginning of that, because he completely forgot the old world actually existed.
Well, it wasn't so. No. Well, that was only in the first couple of episodes when he was when Kirito was having his brain rebuilt in Underworld. He still remembered where he came from. He just put it in the back of his head and he didn't dwell on it. What he forgot was his time in Underworld prior to getting his brain rebuilt, which he remembers it later on towards the end. But yeah.
Obviously, I don't remember any of that.
Well, then you have to rewatch Sword Art Online.
Yes.
I've seen all the way through like 4 times, maybe 5. So I like Sword Art Online. I know it's it's one of those things in anime fandom. You either love it or you hate it. You either love it or you hate it.
The movie is also really fucking good.
Well, dude, I used the clip in the intro. I love that fight. That fight is an outstanding.
And the movie is canon.
It is canon.
The movie is canon.
Yes, it slots.
Right, you actually have to watch it.
Yeah, but it's good. And you get Asuna side boob with nipple.
Oh god, yeah.
You do. But hey, boobs for life. But it's
Asuna best girl.
In that, yes, she is best girl. I would do. No, I'm not going. No, let's not go down that road. Let's not go down that road. Hey,
let's not go down that road. She's wholesome love.
Yeah. Let's not go down that road. All of them. Anyway, but I sort of like that one is good because the movie is good, especially because it shows Kirito in the real world that he is not as badass as he is in SAO or Alfheim Online. And he has to actually train up to do this. But it's a thing of, once again, you either love Sword Art Online or you don't. And that's the problem. And listen, we're gonna go over Sword Art Online at some point. We have to, because
we will.
My favorites. Kaylee Scope, listen, we will have no problem doing that. It's
behind the scenes talk. It is something that people have suggested.
Yeah, well, listen, we're gonna have to do another episode of lists for people at this point. We're gonna have to do that. A best. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm saying this now. Next month in May, since we've been talking about certain things, Dermy and I will come up with a best of list for certain genres. We'll each take a genre. We'll each take one separately. We won't do the same one. We'll just do a different one so that we have no overlap. And we'll come up with a best of for recommendations. How's that sound, Kaylee Scope? Does that sound good? That we'll do that for you guys so that
Is
you
it going to be
you
a
can catch
video? Are
up.
they going to clip it into a video?
It could be.
That would be a good idea.
That'd be the
that would
good
be a
idea.
good
Do
idea.
a live stream and then kind of clip it into a good video.
Yeah.
So
hey,
that gets
I
across.
farm my streams all the time for clips.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the last 5. What did we talk about just now? So
We talked about
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online, which is a major franchise series, whatever you want to call it.
Major franchise. It's
major franchise. Just you'll look it up. Good. I know for sure we said a Log Horizon at one point, which also really good.
Really good.
Season 3.
Even though we finally got season 3 a few years ago, it's been quiet since then. There's still more of that tale, but it's good. We're gonna get to that. If you see it in the title sequence of the opening video, we're probably gonna get to it at some point. Probably.
Quick question: is the end of season 3 when they build out like what the actual world is?
What do you mean?
Like the aliens and junk like that? Is that the end of season 3?
The
Log Horizon.
They tease it in season 3. They get a little.
So
more
I have seen season 3.
Yeah, the fall of the round
4.
table. It's the fall of the round table. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for season 4.
Yeah. Let's see. Konosuba. We did talk about Konosuba, which is
I guess talked about
I'll type them
Inoshi,
out.
right?
I'll type them out.
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha. Okay. So all right. So there's Sword Art Online. I'll type them
Dude,
out.
that was like one of the first animes I ever watched. Like I want to rewatch it. It's been so long.
I'll put these in the
It's
chat
been a
for
long
everybody.
time since I seen it.
What did we just
there
say?
you go.
I
got that one.
I'm gonna copy this and put it in my chat because she's over on my side.
Well, we can put if you type it in StreamYards, it puts it in everybody.
It doesn't transfer. You're not transferring over for some reason, so I don't know why.
I see it transferring over.
I see it.
No,
too.
I don't see it on my end. I only see it your side because if it did, Shock is yours isn't.
Really?
Yeah, it has to have that little like chain link.
Yeah. It didn't do the double. It didn't do the double. I think it don't. You know what I think it is? I think it only does that when you're the guest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right.
It doesn't do it when you're the source. Yeah, it doesn't do it when you're the source.
Yeah, I don't see Adam.
Yeah. While doing that, Carl Carlson, unfortunately, Anime Man 73 is no longer a part of this program. He hasn't been for quite some time. So no, he will not be involved in this.
Inuyasha, which I don't know how to spell it.
Inuyasha. Shock spelled it.
Yeah, I got it in there.
Shock already put it in there.
Oh yeah, yours went over.
Well, Shock, if you're a guest, it translates over to everybody.
Yeah.
If you're the host, it doesn't. It only goes to mine. That's the problem.
I think I can do it. Kono.
I'm
looking up how to spell it real quick. Then I'm
K-O-N Kono K-O-N-O.
I got it.
Yeah, Jeremy's only showing up in your own. You're only showing up in yours. You're not showing up.
Yeah,
in
I'm
mine,
only showing up in yours too. But
it's usually I don't know. That's weird. Normally it goes everywhere when I do it in that.
Yeah, it used to do that for me too.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway,
that's weird.
Let's see what else we want to show.
I know he said Overlord,
which I like. The movies
too.
A movie's about to come out, which is going to be technically season 4 or 5. I really enjoy that.
We said so many. These
are we went on a tangent a couple of the ones. These are the isekai ones we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Well, some of these are
the movie series you just.
Well, the movies are tied in. What you want to look it up, and you can follow the plot arc or the arc of how the watch order. With these theories, these things, if you plug it into Google, it'll say so and so watch order. Especially if you go to something like Inuyasha, which has 7 seasons plus 4 movies and the final 2 seasons, or the final season, final cut.
The one that I said that is canon. Oh, that's the Sword Art Online series.
Movie.
Sword Art Online's movie.
Sword Art Online season 1, season 2, the movie, and then season 3. That's the Sword Art Online watch order. But like if you watch Inuyasha, it's got a crap ton of episodes, but that's back in the day where they put in a lot of filler, which was not canon. So you want to go to a filler website that tells you what's filler and what's canon, so you know what to skip, because Inuyasha filler can be kind of annoying. So a lot of these things that, and also Sword Art Online with its movie was in that period of time now where they started not just making movies to float above the canon. They actually made a canon connected movie that allowed you to, that was part of the story, so that you're actually, it's not, I mean, most famous is stuff like Dragon Ball movies, Naruto movies, Bleach movies. Those are not canon. They float above it.
Dragon Ball Super movies are canon though.
And couldn't. And Inuyasha ones are sort of canon. You can find the right spot to slip. Definitely Swords of an Honorable Ruler, that is canon, that got canonized, and so is the fourth one. Those are both canon. The first two kind of got,
there's only it's like Pokemon, there's only one movie that you can argue is canon, which is the first one. The rest of them are not canon. The only reason you can do that is because of how the first one ends.
Yeah. So there's a lot of structure, but yeah, those are things. So yeah, next month, Gary and I will talk about this. We're each going to give a list of stuff because these will be, I'll say it'll be intermediate watching lists. You know, stuff that where you, if you're into this stuff right now, we recommend in these genres what these things to watch. So we'll give you that next month. There'll be a topic next month. And thank you again, Jay Frazier, for the 10 pounds. We hope that you got some stuff to work with there.
Shit, I can't suggest people go watch. I can't suggest people watch Berserk because it's a manga, really.
Yeah, you can't watch it because you could watch the original.
You can watch the original in the Golden Arc trilogy, which is the same thing. But
yeah.
I gotta try getting the first book again. I couldn't do it.
It was at the comic book shop we were at. Yeah, you were with us.
Yeah,
I was broke. Yeah, I barely got to Vegas. I couldn't swap another $50 on a book.
Yeah, well, Berserk is if you like misery porn, because that's what
Berserk
is.
Berserk
is misery porn.
Misery porn.
Anyway, so
misery porn.
That was that's a fun tangent. It was fine. So Slime, Reincarnated Slime, one of my favorites. Normally we'll talk about favorite scenes, and we jumped around a lot, and I can't really. My favorite scenes are in season 2, frankly. So
really?
I'll say this: my favorite scene is a tie between the end of the Orc Calamity, because I like the Orc Calamity battle, and then the special when you have Diablo Noir, whatever you want to call him, smashing that demon's head. That shit was awesome.
Oh yeah.
One thing with the show, this show does not shy away from the graphic violence.
Yeah, it's great.
Violence. It's glorious. Gets better. It gets even better in season 2. I'm telling you.
Listen, I love Diablo because it's like everything's kind of happy-go-lucky. There's graphic violence, but happy-go-lucky. Here's something very dark.
Dude, yeah.
And a misery porn lover.
Listen, I think season 2 is going to seal the deal for this one with you. I think it is, and you're going to watch the movie, and then you're going to want to get into season 3. So anyway, I enjoy it. I recommend it constantly. As I said earlier, this is the 4th time I've watched it all the way through, and in a couple months, I'm going to sit down and enjoy the hell out of season 3. Can't wait for it. All right, so that's that. Let's move on to our first secondary topic of the evening. We've mentioned Western entertainment a couple times in the discussion tonight on how it drops the ball when it comes to good characters, good storytelling, not letting and how it lets politics and agenda just run rampant.
Even if it's not very politically based, like for Fallout, not a whole lot of wokeness, and you can see the seeds, but it's not really there.
And that
problem is
one of the things I said about episode 1. I said, "Oh, here it comes," but then it never really turned into anything. So it was like,
it for the most part, my biggest issues is they don't take stuff seriously.
Yeah,
and there's a cope. The cope doesn't make sense, but that's besides the point. But this isn't a Fallout discussion. This is a storytelling.
So we get the opposite of that in Japan. They just make this stuff to entertain. And what they do is they make it to entertain their population first. Because God forbid the Japanese entertainment industry make content to please their people first. God forbid.
Like, I know it's Korean, right? But Stellar Blade, like all the stupid, like Lissa McCunty was saying, like, everyone's fawning over Stellar Blade and she doesn't even have a big ass. And it's like, well, Koreans don't like big asses. They like tight-fitted women.
It's like the Gabe's Radar chick. She's not sexy. They don't see she's sexy. It's like, are You blind? Oh wait,
Bro,
no,
you
you
blind
have a
for
Turns
one?
out, that dude might be gay. It turns out.
It makes
trans.
sense. Predator.
Moving on. So the
Abusers
East
in disguise.
makes their stuff for this, and it just so happens that weebs in the West, we love it just the way that it is. We don't want to change. But let's just say the agenda-driven woke tards, they can't stand that Japan doesn't bend the knee. They can't stand it. So it's constantly, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Well, this is fantastic. This dropped earlier in the week. Jeremy, I know you covered this. Naruto and Bleach Anime Studio president rejects idea that anime should conform to Western standards. If you make animation with that in mind, it will become increasingly boring.
And what he said in this was,
I'm really shocked it was Naruto too. I could totally see Netflix like butchering.
So they're gonna butcher the live action.
I know.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck that up. But what this guy said was also really cool because he's like, yeah, our tropes might be cheesy, but guess what? There are tropes, and we make these things because we like them.
Yeah,
we enjoy them. Our audiences like them, and what he pointed out was our Naruto, for the most part, in reality, only 30% of our audience was actually from the West. 30%. And he said, we discovered that if we make something over here that our audiences like, they love it over there.
No, Japan, you want to go after that fake audience that doesn't exist.
That's one of the things he pointed out. Anime is huge here in the States. It's becoming one of the biggest.
Everywhere, bro. South America, Brazil.
Well, it's only been the past 20 years where, I mean, Toonami opened the door.
Oh, yeah.
And Adult Swim normalized it, and then suddenly it's, hey, let's go forward with this. Let's have fun.
What he said, he actually threw out a percentage. He said he even used America. America only accounts for 30% of our actual viewership. You know, that tells you that even though it's massive over here, it's still bigger over there, and they know who their true audience is.
But
we
what
might
that
like
30%,
it over here, but we're not the audience.
But what 30% of, what percentage of that 30% enjoys the traditional media that their Japan audience also, you know what I mean?
That's the point. That's what he was pointing out. It's like the total number of like American audiences is 30%. Yeah. The amount of people that are telling us to change for them is smaller than 30%.
Minute. It's less than 1% because, like you said, we like it. I like it just the way it is. I like to turn on anime. I like to see big ass boobs. I like to see fit dudes kicking ass. I like to see action. I like to see comedy.
Women with hips, not block roundy blobs.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a point.
Actual stories?
Are some of their tropes annoying? Yes. If there's one trope I hate is the bleeding nose to arousal thing. I hate that trope so much.
Yeah, that's kind of
I love that trope.
Big thing, flaws. Characters don't have flaws in America.
No,
can't have flaws.
Well, no, here's a good one. We mentioned it with I mentioned it at least with like Calamity Orc. Over in Japan, they can have downright awful villains that you hate. But at the same time, a lot of their villains are sympathetic in a weird way. You connect with them.
Well, you don't need to.
You understand them, even though
you understand
what they're doing is wrong.
You understand their motives. It's not that you have to sympathize with them. It's you can identify their motives, so you understand where they're coming from.
You can identify with a villain, is what I'm.
Yeah.
Because they develop the villain. They give if they're an actual villain, they give them a story, they give them a reason, they give them something to do. It's not just I'm an evil white man.
But like that's my point.
A wronged woman.
They make. You could say they're sympathetic villains. You could say they're morally gray. Whatever you want to say. They do it well to the point that you still care about this character, even if what they're doing is horrific and awful. Here in the States, here in the West, when you get a sympathetic villain, they're kind of shit.
Or even like flashbacks and internal dialogue. That's like a big no-no in American media. But if Japan does it, they always do it well, and we don't bitch about it.
Here's the problem with the sympathetic villain in the West. They always make their sympathy somebody else's fault and they usually lace it with politics and agenda. What to use our example time. Geld was a sympathetic villain because He just wanted to help his people, and he got manipulated by bad guys. And the bad guys are just bad. They're not bad because of their color. They're not bad because of their social station. They're not bad because of their gender.
Well, his people had remorse too when they were shown forgiveness. He was one of the commanders was going to, Harakara himself, right?
Yeah,
but they, you feel them because they have remorse for their actions.
Because they developed.
They develop these characters, even characters that you might be able to understand their motives. You might be able to sympathize with it because maybe a character had his entire village destroyed, so now he wants to take over the world. It might be an overtop explanation, but it is an anime.
Yeah,
you still care about that person. You're like, I get why you're doing this, even though it's wrong.
They make it clear and they make it work. And the thing is, they don't. Here's why it doesn't work in the West: agenda, politics. It's all tied into it. In Japan, yes. Am I saying Japan doesn't have agenda and politics? No, of course. Japan has every bit, all the flaws that we have. The difference is the anime and manga industry is so cutthroat. It is so meritocracy based. There's no room for that shit. Because if something like that comes out, the people who go to it because Japan is a repressed society. They need this stuff for their escape. And if this stuff ceases to be entertaining to allow them to escape their office life, their work lives, they will reject it outright. So they they know who you said it, Jeremy said before. They know who their audience is.
Yeah. They know it 100%. And Frank I can't say his name. Frank Blaskowitz. I probably butchered that. You know what? I'm just gonna call him Frank. He brings up a good example. Kingpin. When Kingpin was first made in the Daredevil series, he's not sympathetic, but you get why he is the way he is. You see his backstory. You see him being abused. You see him do this stuff, and you understand why he is the way he is now. Similar to how anime has been able to make their characters. Nowadays, you have characters that are like, I am this way because a white man.
Well, that's who Maximus should have been in the Fallout show. He should have been a manipulative liar that was like, hey, survival of the fittest, baby. I'll lie and manipulate through anything because I want to survive. You would respect an evil villain when they are
instead he's
smart.
A goddamn retard.
Yeah, he's a dumbass and he fails upwards.
Yeah.
No, he steals everything. He lies to everybody, and he's the villain.
There would have been a great
story
scene
for another time.
if he taught Lucy that, like, hey, sometimes you need to lie, manipulate, and hurt innocent people so that you can live, and she would actually cross that line because the scientist was like, you may not like who you turn into, but she stays the same person throughout the whole show.
I'm not going to talk about Fallout because if I do, the rest of this is going to be a Fallout discussion.
I'm sorry.
All right, but here's the thing. That's why Japan works.
Yes.
That's why they're not going to break from it, because if they do, the audience will leave. As opposed to the West, where they think they have the right to preach at us. They're trying to use entertainment as a tool of manipulation and indoctrination. The entertainment industry in the West is no longer about entertainment. It's about corruption. As opposed to Japan, anime, manga, light novels, it's still about entertainment.
And this is awesome to have this come out because we've been seeing more examples of, look, this guy was Hanma something. I can't remember what it was. We have other examples of creators not finally coming out, but more creators more often coming out now from Japan saying, we need to stop changing our shit for the West.
Multiple guys have said that.
Doing this. Yeah, multiple guys, multiple of high-ranking individuals have said that.
Yeah.
They're like, this stuff is our stuff. This stuff was made for our audiences, and we made it specifically for a reason. Well, you should not be changing it for the West. And then on top of that, you get that mirrored by what Capcom's been doing, by what Bandai's been doing, and some of these more gaming companies have been doing. They're purposely changing stuff for the West, thinking that it's a good idea, and what's then being delivered is people are seeing it and going like,
that's
American for
that is the unfortunate thing of DEI whispering in somebody's ear who doesn't understand the cultural differences. I mean, we've talked about this before. Sometimes Japan, they saw this stuff as, oh, it's just another investment thing. We've dealt with this stuff from the West before. They give us the money and then they leave us alone as long as we give them a return on their investment.
Mm-hmm.
But they are now beginning to understand that the people who come in with the DEI are, it's not about return on investment. It's about cultural indoctrination, cultural manipulation, transforming things to their ideology.
Yeah, they're not looking at profits. They're looking at the message and what, can this be used as political propaganda? Well, that's how it benefits me.
And the Japanese, they didn't know that. And now they're suddenly becoming aware of that, realizing, oh, shit, this isn't the old order in which we dealt with. Okay, no, you don't get to tell us what to do with our properties and our industry. You don't get to do that.
Well, they're like, wait, so you're not trying to make money? Get the hell out of here, then. Like, they're confused as hell, I bet.
Yeah. It is really awesome to see Japan finally wake. I would say a lot of them woke up earlier, but a lot more of them are coming out and saying, guys, we need to start rethinking this. We need to start talking about this more. We need to start discussing this and saying, this is made for us first and move on from there. Because similar to what happened recently with the I cannot remember the name of the game, like Ueden Chronicles, 100 Heroes.
UDC Chronicles, yeah, it's an evolving story right now. It's an evolving story.
That really sucks, man. I wanted to play that.
It started off awful, but they're reacting to it
right now. They react to it, and if you have it on Steam, fans are already making dialogue changes. They're already doing it.
And I believe I need to look deeper into it because Grum's posted a tweet. They're working on a patch.
Yeah.
The actual company is working on a patch to fix stuff and potentially also change dialogue and the localization.
It shows you that your reactions matter.
Yes.
And I mean, now our buddy Samuel the Infamous, he's playing the game right now. He will be updating us. And for his initial take is the game itself, you take out these problems, the actual game is really good. The gameplay is great. The graphics is great. The concepts are what, if you're a fan of Suikoden, and what you expect to be evolved. So it's unfortunate that the localization disease hit a game like this, which had been so anticipated, especially as I talked about it earlier this week, that the creator passed away a couple months ago. So my question was, did he know this was happening? Did they do this while his health was failing? I mean, it's a shame.
I would say that he probably didn't know what was happening because I believe it
was crowdfunded.
It was crowdfunding, but I believe the localizer came out, or something from the localizer's actual past came out, and he said, well, we change stuff all the time and other content, so even though we're getting better at what we do, we're just gonna keep changing stuff.
Yeah, so it's this with I can't say it either because I don't have it in front of me. It's got a weird first thing. It's a damn shame. Well, I know it's Chronicles 100 Heroes, but it's just a damn shame. Now, I'm probably still going to get the game, but I am paying full price for it right now. I am paying $50. I'll probably get it later this year, discounted on the holidays, maybe for $20 or something like that. Because I will play, and by then maybe we fix. Now, some people are saying, no, don't get it at all. Well, I'm a reviewer. I'm an analyst on these things. I have commenting.
I agree.
If they fix it, I get it.
I hate that argument.
And I can't give you a fair assessment if I don't play it.
Adam, you reviewing it, you with your YouTube channel reviewing, paying the money to get the product and reviewing it will prevent more people from buying it, and they make less money. The reviews are important because people do listen to reviews.
I'll say this. If the game does fix the issues, even the dialogue issues, even the localization issues, if they go out their way to do that fix and make it more accurate, reward them for that. Show them that this is what we want, guys. We're tired of this botched dialogue. We're tired of this happening. We want you to be more accurate and actually give proper examples of what these guys are saying. We know you can't get one for one. Okay, we get that.
Yeah, because there are words that exist in our language that don't exist in Japanese.
Yeah. But there's actually a cool.
We want you to be as close to one-to-one as humanly possible.
You know what was cool in Slime was when they meet Shinzu, they say like a Japanese, like they say like 4 syllables. They go Ishonowa, and then but it's like it was 2 sentences in English, and it was basically like better to be on the road with friends than be on the road with strangers. But like literally in Japanese, she said like 2 syllables, and I'm like, so that is an expression in Japanese that they needed to translate into like an expression that we understand in English.
With a character-based language, a character can express more than one word. So when you chain together a whole bunch of things rather than just what we take more words to say, it's just
I love watching that. You know, you see an anime or something, or even like I'm rewatching Alice in Borderlands when the characters are texting and you watch like they're using all the words and then it shrinks down to something completely different. Oh,
yeah,
it's
cool.
That's a good example. So it's just different. But you can still translate the meaning without adding stupid shit. Because the thing about this you do in Chronicles situation is that it's not so much that there's agenda in it, it's just lazy and shit.
Yes.
From what the screen caps I saw, it's just cringe and it's stupid.
It's
and it's
lazy.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
It's lazy. It changes characters via how they express themselves. I haven't played the game. I might play the game, but there's a character from the dialogue in the Japanese version. She seems a little bit more bubbly and more fun-loving, but in the English version,
sarcastic bitch.
Like, I was gonna say from what I was getting, is she sounds more like a dunce.
Oh,
rub-a-dub-dub. Oh, it's broken.
Yeah, rub-a-dub-dub. Don't be a schlub. It's like, oh, come on.
That's a dunce. That's a dunce there. That's not a bubbly character.
The biggest problem is that with this thing, as I said, it's that it's been, like you said, it's lazy and it's cringe and it's disrespectful.
One other thing, because I saw a bunch of the examples. I used one of them. They used to say that we have to change this stuff because we can't fit it into the dialogue box.
That's bullshit.
You want to know why it's so bullshit?
Yeah.
They have a line in Uden Chronicles, and I showed it in my video, where it's 1-for-1 until the very end when they add words. And it's like your whole argument of, well, we have to change it because we can't fit into the bubble goes out the way when you add words.
Yeah. Bullshit. These people are always going to, whether it's localizers in anime or localizers in video games, they're always going to try and create a false foundation as to why they're necessary, why they can't do this, why they can't do that, because they need to justify their existence. Because let's be honest, we are 5 minutes away from AI replacing all their dumb asses.
I will say one of the the worst localizers out there, I can't remember her name, but I question if she's even a she, but the fat bint that colored her hair a whole lot, that doesn't really help.
That is never done at all.
I could look, it's been forever since I last looked up her name, but she one of like people that people see a lot. She quit Twitter, and I believe she's done as a localizer.
Oh wow.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I think she quit because she got tired of all the pushback, because she was one of the worst people going out there.
Well,
but doing either politicized dialogue or just plain lazy, and she was defending her stuff all the time, always getting dunked on.
These parasites hate sanitizing sunlight. They hate the light of truth. That is the biggest weapon. If you shine this shit down on them, they cannot handle when their shit is revealed to the world, because the normal world, and I'm not saying normies, I'm saying the normal world, they do not comprehend retarded bullshit like this. And then when you turn on internet autism and it gets weaponized against these people, when the deep divers find their hypocrisy, they have nowhere to run.
Real quick, both Crimson Law and Carl Carlson pointed out who I was talking about. Thank you, Katrin Ladowski. When you look her up, it's a face that you can remember all the time. She's like she's this fat girl. She usually has like an animated avatar, has different colored hair, glasses. In real life, like she's fatter than me.
Oh, that's saying something.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a plump bitch. If she's still, I heard that she was either leaving Blue Sky. I know she left Twitter. Like, there's stuff going on with her, and people were rejoicing about it. So that's, and she was one of the worst.
Wow.
So
well, listen, I said this when it came to Stellar Blade in my video yesterday about the hard R. We're not going to talk Stellar Blade here. We'll talk about that in a different stream.
Yes, they are a manual transmission car, by the way.
When it comes to I get that. I get it. This is one of those moments, though, and we can say it here with localizers, say it here with Stellar Blade thing. We're at a turning point here where these individuals have now been called out across the board. They have been revealed for what they are, and they're being rejected. And what they're trying to push is being rejected. And because people they just want their games. They just want their anime. They just want their manga. They just want this shit to be entertaining. They don't want it corrupted, perverted, destroyed. And we're at that point where I think normalcy is starting to creep back in. It's not there yet. And it's not going to happen tonight, tomorrow, next month, next week, next year. It's going to be a while. In fact, in the next year, it could get a little worse where they're going to lose their minds even harder over many different events going on. But
yeah.
But a return to normalcy is coming. Stellar Blade is the biggest example of return to normalcy where, and I don't want to sidetrack too much because it's video games on anime. People have embraced its concept of beauty,
traditionalism.
Yeah,
people are pissed off about something that's going on right now besides the hard R. Sony doing Sony shit. Sony might be doing Sony shit.
They put a tank top on her.
I think we have to wait till tomorrow. Are we talking about the false? It's that possibly false skin that might be false.
So
yeah,
tomorrow. Yeah.
I haven't looked too deep into it. I just saw that was going on, and it's like Sony doing Sony shit.
There's the screenshot of this particular costume, and one she has a tank top underneath it, and one she doesn't have a tank top, and you see the cleavage. And we don't know which costume is going to show up in the main game.
Listen, there could be some gay ops going on here with these games journos and their allies trying to sabotage this before it comes out.
I agree.
Now, we know about the hard R thing. That is censorship. I talked about it yesterday in my video. Is it bad? Yes. Should it happen? No. Does it break the game? Probably not. But the fact that we're talking about it is embarrassing enough. It's also embarrassing with the revelation today that what they're possibly replacing it with is just as bad. And in terms of what they would all perceive as inappropriate and racisms. Now, I think it's funny either way. So
it went from just a funny, dumb thing that probably was somebody that wasn't actually thinking it through where they posted it because it was made in Korea.
Yeah.
To something that might actually be really, really, really bad.
So this is what happened. It just happens what happens, whether it's anime or video games, when you bend the knee to these people who are not even fans or participants in your industry, in your fandom. They will ruin it because it's not about the product. It's about the agenda. And that's why stuff like what we're talking about here on this article, what we've been talking about here in the past 20, 30 minutes, it's important because Japan is rejecting it. And that's why I use it as an example, and Dermy, you can back me up on this. That's why, whether you love them or not, Square Enix has worked very hard in the past several months to course correct from the debacles of last year, where they've come out and said multiple times, we're scaling back, we're refocusing, we're not going to break our promises, we're going to give you what you want. And they seem to be on the right track. And it's just a shame that good games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth have fallen through the cracks because of that and other various reasons attached. So there's a whole lot of reasons Rebirth has not been as widely received.
And we've discussed those multiple times. And even in my video, like I point out every reason, including the biggest one being the PS5. It's
smaller install base, larger price. Very simple equation.
Yep.
Very simple equation. The other stuff around Square Enix and everything doesn't help and probably does equate to some of the issues. And what I will say, and every time I do my videos on that, it's like, I don't like talking about this. I wish the game was more successful, but
I say, I mean, I judge its success when it gets the PC port.
Yeah,
Judge its
PC port
success
will
then.
judge its.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Well,
will-
that's the thing about Stellar Blade too, is that they really should have released it on PC because
So-
those Steam chart numbers are really what like stick it to people who want to hate
So,
on the game.
what I was told is it was originally going to be on all platforms, but Sony came in and bought up the rights to it, and it's like, yeah, Sony wanted it. Sony knew what was going to happen here. I believe they wanted the same thing that happened with Liza P. Liza P was very successful, but the problem is Sony's structure is Sony's structure.
Well, that business model just doesn't work anymore, man. It's like people aren't
It
exclusively
works for Nintendo.
That's
doesn't
totally
work anywhere
different.
else.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
different because PlayStation has always competed with Xbox when Nintendo is just going to be Nintendo. And I'm not hating on Nintendo. But at this point, like they're just game developers now. There are no, because PC players know it's going to come onto Steam eventually, except for Ragnarok, because we know why. But it's just buying exclusives like that is just not a good business model anymore.
But I'm going to go back a little bit. I would say talking about Stellar Blade would work for Anime Odyssey. I know it's Korean. I know it's video games, but it is more Eastern style storytelling. It is a more Eastern product, and I think it would be fair to talk about it.
It's Korean Metal Gear Rising. Like that's literally what it is, and that's why I'm so excited to play. I hope it comes on PC.
It probably will. I mean, Sony eventually does it after like a year or two. They eventually
Ragnarok's the only one they've never done it to.
Ragnarok, but Ragnarok just came out. How long ago? Like a year ago.
It's only been a
2020, isn't it?
No.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok came out
last year.
It came out a year ago because I got my PS5 a year ago, and it was the Ragnarok bundle.
Dude, time has not progressed for me past 2020. I swear.
I don't blame you. But
bro,
no, Ragnarok.
Shock still thinks it's December 29th, 2020.
I know, I do.
To Shock's point, where a lot of other Sony games come out like a year and a half later.
Yeah,
God of War does take longer to actually come out on PC. Like they took forever to get to 2018.
2018 was like what, 3 years?
Oh, yeah, I think 2018 came out in 2020. I think like at the end of 2020.
Yeah, 2018 came out in like the end of 2020 when Ragnarok
that's
was
what I'm
dropping.
thinking of.
I mean,
because that's when I played it.
Square Enix,
that's when they brought them all to PC.
It was about a year and a half turnaround to get a remake on.
They dropped it. They dropped it with the DLC. So that's when they did the whole. That's what they're doing with 16.
So if they play their cards right, all right, if it is popular on PlayStation, right, and then it gets good reviews, good good cultural impact on social media,
good audience reviews as well.
Good audience reviews. If they do get that as an exclusive, and then 8 months to a year later it comes on Steam, they can repeat the success over and over again. If they play their cards right.
Hey, listen, it's gonna hit Steam, and we're just gonna have Naked Eve everywhere.
Oh yeah. No. Fuck it. It's gonna be Sailor Moon mods. That's what it's gonna be.
All right. Well, hey, listen. I just happen to have a story for that right here. I have
all right.
My next thing. This is talking about the respect.
All right. Let's go.
This is the original creator. There's been a whole museum thing going on. I just wanted to bring this up for the respect that the classics still have. Someone reveals new creator artwork and merch for exclusive museum showcase. This thing is over 30 years old and still beloved. I'm an old school Mooney, man. I'm an old school Mooney. I love this stuff. I even liked the Crystal reboot, which was more aligned with the actual manga than what was done for the original 90s show. And I still need to watch the final two movies that were an adaptation of Seven Stars. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but to me, this is cool because it shows respect and how if something is good, it stands the test of time.
I'm going to be honest. I always wanted to be Tuxedo Mask.
Listen, I want to be anything that gets me Jupiter.
Oh,
it gets me Makoto. Okay. Anything. she was the best. She was the best. Amy. I mean, Amy with a second one. It's a close second.
Amanda C. Miller voiced Sailor Jupiter, right?
I don't know. I don't remember.
The green one was Sailor Jupiter, right?
Yeah, that's Sailor Jupiter.
The brunette.
Yeah, that was Amanda C. Miller.
Makoto. Yeah. See, I have a soft spot for the soldiers in my heart. I have a soft spot for them.
Listen, I like Tuxedo Mask. He got Sailor Moon.
Oh, hey, one thing about this is it's a classic love story
Mhm.
with a decent amount of action and a good story and great characters. But
Wait,
I love
isn't it
now.
OG Magical Girl?
It is the original. It is the original.
Mhm.
Sailor Moon, I believe, is the first. Somebody might correct me. But the creator, let me see if it's here. Get her name. She's married to the guy who does Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Naoko Takakuchi. She is incredible. She's old school. She's basically anime manga royalty at this point. But I've always loved her designs. To me, this is graceful artwork. It's beauty, and that's the thing that's the thing we were talking about when it comes to celebrating all these things tonight. We've been going back to Japan loves beauty, and they're not ashamed to represent it. That's why I wanted to show this tonight, because this is beauty. Being beautiful is not a crime. Showing things of beauty is not a crime, and that's the problem with the West. These Western creeps want us to think beauty is a sin and uglification is the way to go.
And they will defend it and say, well, it's just bad CG. It's just this. It's just that. No, they purposely do it here in the West.
No.
At this point in time, if Pokemon Go has proven anything,
Dude,
they
yeah.
purposely do it. They don't like
They've
things. They
added
don't
more
attract it.
character models to make them look worse. They've added more. More memory to make them more ugly.
So I just wanted to show this right now because we were talking about beauty and I had this ready to go, and also the respect that here we are 30 plus years later, and the Sailor Senshi franchise, Sailor Moon franchise it's a standard. It's a gold standard.
It's an untouchable icon, man.
And you could be a dude or a chick. Yes, is it aimed towards a female audience? Yes, but we dudes, anime fans, weebs, we still love this because these are great characters and great stories.
Oh, fantastic story. Fantastic freaking story.
Yeah. About friendship, love, family, all the things. Like, that's what I love about that's what's always at the heart of a lot of these Japanese stories that we always get so involved in. Friendship, love, family, connections. They keep doing it over and over again. We talked about tropes earlier, but you know what? Guess what? It works all the time. It keeps working. Just give it a fresh coat of paint, a little bit different flavor, and we can have some more fun with it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent anything if it's still working. And this is the evidence that it will always work. Always going to be good. I just wanted to bring that up as an example right here.
But you're right. You're right. But I have a story for us.
Yeah, you got one more story. What do you got?
This is more of a buy physical media. I'll fully admit that, but it is an anime. Because for those of you that don't know, Funimation and Crunchyroll merger is finally finished.
I had this one too. So I still had this one in the back. So you had this one too. Okay, go for it. Yeah. This pissed. I went through this list and I was sort of like, this list doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the list here is the Hack series, Assorted Magical Index, the Miracle of Endymion.
But that's just the movie. That's not even the series. It's just the movie.
Yeah.
And they cut out and now this should annoy you because you haven't even seen it yet. They cut out a couple seasons of Seed.
They cut out Seed.
It's been updated. The last I saw it was only a couple seasons. Oh, it's all the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah, all of Seed, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn Specials.
And Seed is one of those ones that has a good dub because it's got what's his name? Oh, that voice actor that is really good who did the Spider-Man. Oh shit, what's his name?
Oh, Yuri
Lowenthal. Yeah,
Yuri
Lowenthal's Kira Yamato, and he does a fantastic job.
He's a fantastic voice actor.
Yuri Lowenthal is great. So I mean, the fact that they took that
Tenchi Muya.
Well, Tenchi Muya's dead. Tenchi, and that's season 3. Season 3, that's where it all went to hell. So fuck that.
Tenchi Universe season 2 and 3.
That makes no sense. Wait, Tenchi Universe has one season. It's just one season. There's only 24 episodes. No, sorry, 26 episodes in 2 movies. There aren't multiple seasons. So
they might have broken
right there.
They might have broken it down for Funimation.
It's retarded.
Certain Magical Index season 2.
That makes no
okay.
sense.
Appleseed, Aquarion Evolve, Attack on Titan live. Okay, well, I can't.
I've wanted to check out Aquarion. I can't find that anywhere.
Oh, Aquarion's so good. I will say.
I haven't been able to find it.
It's on my service. Oh, look, Dragon Ball movie, Curse of the Blood Rubies, Dragon Ball movie, Mystical Adventures, Dragon Ball movie, Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle, Dragon Ball movie, The Path to Power, Dragon Ball Z special, History of Trunks, Eureka 7.
Eureka 7. Well, all right. Eureka 7
starts good, gets bad.
That ending is just garbage. And now Ghost of Shell 2 Innocence. That's the movie. Yeah, that's the movie, not the show. But this is such a weird list where they're taking away parts of seasons.
My Bride as a Mermaid. They took away My Bride as a Mermaid. What the fuck? It's a comedy. It's actually pretty
Heavy Object. I think. Wait. I think I know which one. I want to see if I remember if I'm remembering that one correctly. Hang on a second. Anime.
Seraph of the End, season 2, Serial X.
Seraph of the End. That was an interesting one. Okay, Heavy Object. That one was good. It's a one-shot series. Only. Oh man, that's a good one, man. I like that one. That one was good. Seraph of the End. I didn't know there was a season 3.
The Vision of Escaflowne. We might have talked about it recently, but that's still
it's a classic. It is.
Yeah, it's a classic. But they took all this away because this is why you need physical, because what was going on is they came out and told you guys, listen, okay, Crunchyroll might be buying up Funimation. But all the stuff you guys bought on Funimation, we're not bringing them over. We might have the rights, we might have all the stuff, but we're not bringing over the downloads that you guys have. We're not bringing over all the money you spent. We're not doing any of that. So everybody that spent money on Funimation, everybody that bought any of this stuff, they just lost it if they never had a physical copy.
And here's a problem that is connected to this as well, and that I keep seeing in shill articles. And I know you don't think this, Jeremy, but neither do you, Shock. There's a confluence. Maybe that's not the right word. There's a misinterpretation of something where people say Crunchyroll made this, Netflix made that. Netflix and Crunchyroll are distributors.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are not production. I mean, Funimation was a distributor, a localizer. In Japan, that's where these things are made. So I hate it when they say, oh, this anime on Crunchyroll is made from Crunchyroll doing well. Crunchyroll didn't make shit. They either threw subtitles on there or maybe funded a localizing dub.
They license it. A good example is the Black Clover movie. That is a Netflix exclusive. They got the rights. They are the ones that show it. It has Netflix at the beginning. It's tagged Netflix.
But it's not made by Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix did not make it. Yeah. Another example, and I like to point this out, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is a good example of this. Amazon Prime makes certain shows, and then they license out other shows. Yeah. They licensed out Reacher for a while. I don't know if they make Reacher now, but they did license Reacher at first. They licensed the Chris Pratt one. Terminalist. Yeah. They licensed Terminalist. They didn't make those outright. They just got the license for them. They have the Amazon title there. It's Amazon exclusives, but they aren't made by Amazon themselves, so they fall under different rules, different categories. Same thing as with Netflix when they license out and get the distributing rights for Alice in Borderlands, the live action, for any of those animes that get the Netflix tag. Netflix didn't make those. They just bought the rights to them.
Yeah.
So it is a Netflix product, different from like what they're doing with Overlord right now, where they bought the rights to just stream it, but the Netflix stuff stays on Netflix wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So like Gundam's another example. OG Gundam series is on Netflix right now. There are 3 movies. It's a trilogy, but it's all subbed. But then Netflix has the rights to actually, like, they own. I just had it. The Hathaway movie. Same with some of the Fate stuff.
Careful, you'll trigger yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very unique on how this stuff works. They don't actually own any of this. Netflix doesn't make it; they just own it. Same with Crunchyroll; they don't make it; they just own it.
Yeah. But the problem is the shills talk as though these companies do own it and make it, and that just ticks me off. It just annoys me because it's a misrepresentation of how all this shit works, and it leads to what we were talking about. They kind of then it might make someone believe that this is being produced by the West. No, it isn't, and that's why sometimes some of these things that are on here, it's hard to get the physical media of some of these shows on here. Like right now, I couldn't get physical media of Gundam Seed if I tried. I've tried for years because they did a remaster and a redub a bunch of years ago. I have it. I got my hands on it, but I couldn't find the physical media of it anywhere. But I have it. It's safe. It's untouched, and I have my version of it. So but some of these things are not found at all.
Code Geass the Aikido Exiles, isn't that the movie?
No. The movie that just came out, Freedom, is something different. That's the finale. That was a code. Oh no. Aikido Exile. No, that was a side story. That was a side story. That wasn't. Oh, you're talking. Robert. No, there's a movie and there's a season. There's a not a reboot, a revival series that they've been pushing back. That still isn't out yet.
We might not like the show.
The movie was
the
great.
movie's here.
Yeah, movie is great. You can
get the movie anymore.
You can you could get Escaflowne on physical media. That's available. You can get
but I understand the argument for digital media. I do understand it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're on a train. Sometimes you're flying. Sometimes you're here. You don't have a DVD player with you. Throw it on your phone, watch it. I get those arguments, but you do need physical copies because these companies will just come in here, even if they have the distribution rights now because it was through Funimation. They don't have them anymore. They have to take them away.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's why listen. It's dangerous to say this. I'm saying it anyway. Fan groups. I have my route for most things I get is through fan groups, and they will take it when they get their hands on it. I mean, Carl brings up sometimes it doesn't get over here, but they can still get it because I couldn't get something from the UK because it's region locked. Wouldn't play on my PS5, but they can still get it where they are and take it and make it available, and then you can get it and bring it to yourself. I mean, listen, a large portion of my anime collection, mainly because some of it isn't finished yet, and I'm not going to spend money on anything until it's done. That's my rule. If it doesn't, it could go great for 85-90% of the series, and then they can drop the ball in the finale, and then it's ruined.
But by the way, I think I said only Seraph of the End season 2. They also got rid of Seraph of the End season 1.
Yeah. So
it's all gone.
Yeah. So you look at these things, but that's why I say a large portion of my collection, which is digital, but it's acquired digital. It's physically on my computer. It's not on a service.
Yeah.
They're incomplete shows. I mean, they're not done yet. So I'm not going to put the money out until it's done. But if it finishes strong and when it's released, but especially hopefully in a nice little complete series package, like some of the stuff you can see right there, when it's done and it's complete, then I'll put the money down on it and I'll get it happily. But I'm not going to waste my money until it's done.
And actually, going back a little bit to like Netflix, Crunchyroll, they're making these things. A lot of people also forget, like Disney Plus has exclusive anime right now. Disney Plus ain't making anime. Okay. And like Jay Frazier points out, the new Code Geass movie is going to be on Disney Plus. Disney did not make that.
No, but
they
they
didn't make Bleach.
No. Now they I mean, even Bleach had it with its last round of the 1,000-Year Blood War, the first round of it where they completed recently. Even it suffered a basically an adaptation problem. And they took out the part where somebody shoves their arm right up between Orihime's massive jugs, which have admittedly tripled in size since the series started. Orihime's boobs are like 3 times bigger than when the show started. Orihime, she wins. Orihime wins in Bleach. But Tite Kubo, the creator, said, "I am saddened that they made these changes. I didn't okay this." But that's the problem. His original contract, he probably signed away certain rights and abilities to control some of this stuff. So,
And that's the thing with like localization. They get away with changing stuff because of a tiny loophole that they have to do, which is we've established you don't get 1-for-1s at all. So they acknowledge like, hey, you have to change this up. So they use that loophole to justify mass changes, mass manipulation, because it's like, well, we get the right to change it up. They tell us we need to change it up, but they don't understand. So they use that as their justification, and it's a shitty practice
they're lying
that really
to
does
them.
need to change.
Yep.
Because
this is
because like
localization
old like translations of like animes from like the 80s and 90s, they would use like grapeist to just say jerk. Like they would call random guys that all the time, and it was kind of jarring to hear. Like you need some localization, like hey, maybe don't call them an offensive word, like change it to jerk or something.
Well, part of the reasons they used to do stuff like that is because they had to have the mouth movements match up, and now they have technology that they can manipulate the mouth.
Better technology now for animation. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, and that's another thing that a lot of people say. Well, they have to change it up because we have to match the mouth movements. And like,
not
anymore. They don't. They can change it.
Oh, that's crazy.
They can change everything. So their arguments don't make sense anymore. It's just that simple loophole. That's the only reason they get to do this, and that's why they do it all the time. Their arguments are out the window.
And that's what I'm saying. Buy physical media. I agree with it completely. But when you can, and if you can't, find a way to get it in its pure form and hold on to it, because some of these things aren't available. There's ways.
There's some sites out there.
Yeah.
I sent. I may or may not have given Shaka a site that I highly.
I have shared
a better the one that I use.
I have shared with you guys multiple times where I go to meet up with Captain Jack on occasion.
I used this particular site to review all of G Gundam, which, by the way, that evergreen content still pays off.
And like, I mean, I'll say, hey, here's the one. I'll put it in the private chat. You know, I've shared it before. Sure. This is where I go.
I'll just give you. I'll drop mine in a private chat because I love
this
mine.
Is where I go. I mean, sorry, chat, we can't share it with you.
Oh damn!
This is where I.
Damn,
I mean,
this is a nice one.
This is where I go. It's got everything.
I still like mine a little bit more.
Holy crap!
Especially because mine's smart. I'm just gonna say there might be a lot of different things that they prepare for constantly if shit goes south. Yeah, so, and they tell you when shit goes south.
One I have is pretty it's the best one for the way I get this stuff. The groups, you know, the good groups after you be there a while, you know who the quality ones, and also because they get it on a weekly basis, and because listen because you know, fuck Crunchyroll.
Shit! I just remembered the newest episode of Delicious in Dungeon is out.
I'm not interested in that one,
so I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie. Okay, I started off hating the anime, then I kept watching it. I hated the intro, and I was like, I just want to listen to the intro and watch this anime more. There's something about it that's like addictive, and I need to go watch the new episode. And again, chat, I would love to send out this link to this amazing site, but we're not allowed to.
Yeah, it's bad enough we're saying we do it. It's bad enough.
All right.
We all have our tastes. We like things. I mean,
the thing is that we're not consumers, man. We're customers. So protect your bank, and then if there is something you like support the creator. Support the things that you want to support.
Guys, I'll be real honest. Like, I've seen a lot of Gundam. I can't always afford every single season of a Gundam because there's a lot out there.
Gundam would profit more if you yo ho ho the show and then just buy the figures and the toys. Like, that's where all the money.
That's why I'm a proponent of Jack Sparrow. Is the fact that when it's done and if it's available and when I can afford it, I'm going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will, because I want it.
I can sit here and say sometimes you just can't afford it. Sometimes something goes south. Sometimes, in the case of Gundam, not everything's on Blu-ray yet, and even when you get the Blu-rays, they're $60 per season, and it's fucking expensive. And for the most part, with Gundam, they make their money on their Gunpla.
Yeah.
And my biggest problem right now is that a lot of things I really, really love, they're not done yet. They haven't completed. There are still things to be adapted. There's still source material to be adapted. And by my rule, I'm not going to buy it till it's done. Because I've made that mistake before and I paid for it, literally.
Hey, I bought the seasons of Attack on Titan I liked. And I'm able to end it with our main hero, Aaron, just staring at the water.
Yeah.
Future moments to come.
Imagine paying $50 for that shit.
Yeah, it's just right. It's just right now. I mean, here's one thing in the future I'm probably going to do because Jeremy says it's going to work out, and it's going to happen because it's going to end soon enough when Demon Slayer's done, and I am likely going to be satisfied with the ending. Boom, that's a buy because they're going to put that shit out on Blu-ray complete series like that. One of the things I'm waiting for right now, a couple years ago, Inuyasha finally got remastered on Blu-ray. I'm still waiting for the complete series of it to be on Blu-ray. They still have an individual. I want a complete box set. I don't want the individual case. I want a box set. So I'm waiting for that because, fortunately, the Inuyasha sequel series didn't ruin the original. It didn't destroy it, which all it did was kind of like, oh, this is nice. Original's still better. But so I certain things I'm waiting for, and I have to wait. It's not done yet.
I don't exactly. You have to wait because it's not done. And on top of that, like manga, for example, there's sites up there. But something that I can promote that is legal, and I do suggest, is the Shonen Jump app. $1 a month, you get access to all of Shonen Jump's catalog. Brand new stuff, everything they've ever put out. And you want to know why that's so helpful? I read all of Demon Slayer and loved every second of it. And the thing is, in order to there's box sets of Demon Slayer right now, full-fledged box sets, $200.
Of the manga?
Sheesh.
Of the manga for a full-fledged box set.
Damn. That's more than
I can't afford that.
I mean,
I can't afford that at all.
Yeah.
And when you do the math to buy each and every individual book, it's actually a little bit cheaper to buy the box set that I can't afford.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and another thing, like the Shonen Jump app is not perfect by far. It only has Shonen Jump stuff, so it doesn't have the Berserk series. So you gotta find ways to read Berserk, and everybody has it.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, I was saying, and getting anime is not always easy too, because as we just talked, sometimes it's released in some regions and not in others. Right now, I have looked for it, even though there's one more arc for Sword Art Online that they have to release. There's one more arc. It's not done. But finding everything from season 1, season 2, and the movie's easy, but Alicization, it's not readily easily available. It isn't. I haven't been able to find it. I mean,
and on a lot of your streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, like your big ones, they don't have everything, and they'll lose stuff too. That's why having sites like this, if you don't have the ability to get everything, help out a lot. And as much, I'm not a. You know what? You do what you need to do to watch something. If you want to give your money to it, give your money to it. If you don't want to give your money to it, don't give your money to it.
It's the bottom line of this. Sometimes things don't end because they decide to stop making the anime adaptation and cut it short. And then you got to go to the manga. And as much as I would love, as much as I love Claymore was cool, but the anime butchers the ending because it starts the war in the north and then it makes up its own ending because the manga was still going on. Therefore, I don't want to buy the anime because then I have to just go read the manga to actually finish it. And as much like manga, I prefer anime because
Excel World.
Excel World's another example.
I like the first season of Claymore. That was a cool anime.
Yes, Claymore, and the ending is the ending is batshit crazy. The shit that goes on, and because there's a war north, and then there's a massive time skip. There's a big ass time skip. We're talking a lot of years, so they don't get to cover that. So I don't want to get something and put it on my shelf and then have to stop and then go read manga, because to me, I prefer watching something. I enjoy it more. In fact, sometimes I retain it better when I'm watching it rather than reading it. Because let's be honest, when it probably came out today. I haven't checked it yet. chapter of One Piece. It's the only manga I'm actively following at the moment because I can't not do it. I hate a lot of shit's about to go down in One Piece that I must know now. Also, if I don't, freaking CBR is going to spoil it in 2 seconds because they've been doing that shit lately. So I got to make sure I'm caught up so I don't get freaking spoiled by those retards. It takes me all of 3 minutes to read a manga chapter. Done. I watch it, I look at it, and I'm done. An anime, that's half an hour, 22 minutes, half an hour of sitting down and enjoying something.
Mm-hmm.
Manga, as good as it is, it's a source material. It's there, but I get more enjoyment out of watching because it's a grander experience for me.
And I can get that. Anime that just released, and I just clicked to because something I've been waiting for. Kaiju number 8. One, they're releasing it dubbed. They're simulcasting it, so dub's
really?
coming out at the same time. So hell yeah.
Yeah,
And 2,
2 months. I'll watch it in 2 months.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait because what they're doing right now in the manga is fantastic. But the manga's become bi-weekly. It's no longer weekly. So I have to wait another week because the newest chapter just came out. And right now they're doing really cool stuff, but they're all fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to watch this. You have to go through the stills. I don't mind going through the stills,
but it's better when it's animated, man.
It's a whole lot better when it's animated, especially right now because it's the main character versus our main villain right now. Might be more villains than later, and they're overpowered. So you have your overpowered fight, and you're watching. The blows happen, and then you see the carnage afterwards. So it's like, I want to see these blows happen and how fast they're going, all this stuff. I want to see that. Another example, Black Clover. I've been reading the Black Clover anime manga. Like,
it's been 2 years since the anime stopped, and I am frozen with
they're
kidnapping at the end there.
They're well beyond that point. So I think
what's the reason? And the movie isn't even canon, so
I think they were doing the movie, and I don't know what they're doing right now. But what they've been doing with the anime, with the manga, because they're at their final parts.
Yeah.
To milk it for as much as it's worth, they've gone quarterly. See, I've been waiting since December for the next chapter, and they're still in the middle of the final battle. So there's still so much more I have to go through, but I have to read it quarterly.
Yeah, see, that's why I stopped with manga, because these are starter stops, or it's got the rest of the story. I mean, so I'm frozen in time, in limbo, where Black Clover ended, because they're going to animate the rest of it. They're going to.
Oh, they're going to. Yeah.
So I'm just going to simply be patient, just like we've talked about this with Demon Slayer. They're going to finish it. So I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in my own time, because it's going to get ended. It's going to reach it. So I will just wait. I can be patient. And they're pretty faithful. You can attest to that. It's been pretty faithful.
Oh, it's very faithful. Yeah. They might change up a event here or there, but it's not like drastic changes. It's like
kind of thing you expect in a show.
Yeah, something you expect. They might show something just a little out of order. They might give a little bit more context to things here or there. Like in the Red Light District, they added a little bit more to some characters, and they cut a little bit down, but also like the stuff
that wrong with that
wasn't dramatic. It wasn't drastic changes. It's like a little less cleaning the house.
And it, like what they're doing with Bleach 1000 Year Blood Arc, they're making more, because historically, if you don't know, Tite Kubo was rushed to finish Bleach. He rushed the ending in the manga. So he left a lot of stuff on the table. And the whole reason he finally agreed to do anime Blood War is because he had a chance to do the whole story as he originally intended. So I'm waiting till that's all done before I even watch it, because I've read the manga like 3 times.
Jay Fraser, you're right. Seraph of the End needs a continuation, because the manga's still going on.
There was actually a list, and I will give CBR this. They put a list of things that have been frozen, and that was on their list of things that have just stopped. It's been like
the manga's well past that point. Yeah, it's still dropping. Again, it's the pros to the Shonen Jump app. Yeah, you have to sit your ass down. And you have to wait a quarter for Black Clover. I have to wait 2 weeks for Kaiju number 8. But in the meantime, I get another manga I've been loving right now. News. It's brand new. It's called News Exorcist, and it's fucking awesome. I get it every week. Another one, it's more bi-weekly. I'll confess to that, even though they release a chapter every week. But it's chapter 2.1, which is comedy chapter. Shit, I can never remember the name of it, but it's about androids and things like that. And it's actually really dark. It's really good. It's not it's not a misery porn thing that I normally like. There's actually some good qualities to it that's not misery porn, but it's still dark and dramatic and gory, and I'm enjoying that. I look forward to it. I look forward to even the joke chapters, even if it's just a freaking 2-page joke. I look forward to it because sometimes those 2-page jokes are actually like character development. You learn a little bit, nothing important, really like important about a character, like nothing that's drastically changes, but it gives you a different perspective on a character here or there. So it's fun stuff like that, and that I like.
You guys understand what we're saying, though. Sometimes manga can be a slow slog. It is a source of material, so we want it to keep going, want it to end. But that's why I will, as I said before, I will sometimes not get an anime because sometimes it either got butchered or it just stops and it never finished. Like Seraph of the End is a good example. It just stopped.
And I'll
they
say
didn't make more of it.
I'm a huge proponent of manga, even though it's a slog, even though you have to. It's a pain in the ass to sit there and wait for it. I would prefer the manga over everything because oftentimes you get things changed. Black Star Exorcist or Twin Star Exorcist.
Twin Star. That was I was about to mention that
still,
one. That
still going on right now via manga.
Yeah, I stopped reading because I couldn't. I don't even know where I don't even remember where I left off right now.
I had another one that was
one of the invasions on the island. I don't remember. God,
they
just got married.
Just in my head that I was about to use as
they didn't want to have sex. That was weird. Just fuck her already. God damn it.
Yeah,
she's not even best girl. The one with the green hair and the giant cans. She was best girl.
So I haven't even read the I haven't even read the manga yet. I know it's just going on. I need to read the manga.
Thing goes, the Quinton, if you there is a moment in the anime where you can exactly cut it off and then jump to the manga, which is what I did when I learned the anime was butchering the ending. I went back and it's that Twin Star Exorcist is brilliant. That's a great one.
I do need to read it. There was so
There's so much. That one's I think also either monthly or bi-monthly because those are like 45, 50-page chapters when they drop.
It might be bi-monthly.
It took a break for a while. I was having a hard time getting my hands on it.
Shonen Jump app. I see it when it drops. So you always get a notification when something new drops. Oh, I will say, reason why sometimes manga is actually better than the anime. Chainsaw Man. I gotta be honest, the Chainsaw Man anime kind of sucked. And it was relatively accurate. It didn't feel like Chainsaw Man. It didn't feel like what it should have been. And I gave up after one episode. Because it was just kind of boring to me. None of the characters sounded the way I wanted them to sound. None of the characters seemed the way right. And the manga's better. Plus the manga's well farther.
So that's
holy crap.
Well, it's always good when a manga's way far ahead because that means there's less turnaround time when they do seasons. And
a lot of people are, when it comes to Chainsaw Man, good example. I know we're well off topic, but Chainsaw Man is a good example.
We're on topic. We're in a weeb rabbit hole. We're fine.
Yeah, we rabbit hole. When it comes to Chainsaw Man, the manga actually tells you when the first arc ends. There's a lot of sub arcs that go on, but the first arc truly doesn't end till 100 chapters later. And then they tell you specifically end of the first arc, which the anime is only touched on maybe 2 sub arcs.
Well, that's the thing, though. We live in this era now where a lot of these things have been. A lot of the franchises that are being tapped for shows right now, they are well into their existence. So there is a lot, and you want them to be successful because then you say, okay, great. They have a lot of time to go. They can, if they space it out over like every other season, which is how they do it. Sometimes they'll give you a chunk of 12 episodes and then they'll take 2 seasons off and then they'll come back another season. There's the knowledge that they're going to get there. But when they suddenly stop for long periods of time, it's kind of inexplicable as to why they stop. I mean, Sometimes sometimes they're doing a thing now where they're taking arcs and they're Demon Slayer was kind of the first one to do it. They're doing arcs and they're putting them in movies. Overlord is doing it with their arc. My New Life as a Villainess is doing that recently.
I know
Dragon
Ball Z's been doing. Oh, Dragon Ball Super's been.
Yeah,
doing
but then
that.
they take it and they turn it into episodes anyway.
Yeah,
when they
but
did that with the
that's
Super
what they
movies.
did with Demon Slayer. So
Yeah.
the first half of season 2 is just the movie.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
they are doing that, but
Yeah.
then Demon Slayer hasn't done it again since, and there's no other.
There's no
time
room
to
left
do
to
it.
do it. Yeah,
The only time they could do it is during the very.
I don't
end.
need a movie. I prefer it to be show because with the movie,
Mhm.
I just feel like they might not get everything in something if it's the movie. Because yes, a movie essentially is, if they go 2 hours, that's essentially 6 episodes, which pretty much it's an arc in a season.
Mhm.
6 episodes are generally an arc in a season.
I'll
but-
say the reason they did Mugen Train as a movie is because it wasn't a long arc within the actual manga itself.
It's a pretty contained story.
Mhm.
It's very contained, and that's why it works so well as a movie. Is because it's in one location.
Mhm.
It's not in a town that
Yeah.
they're moving from place to place to place. It's solely.
It's really about
train.
only one character too.
Yeah, it's really just about Rengoku.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the effects that happen after that are fucking phenomenal.
Mhm.
And it has
So-
drastic impact.
So they've been doing the movie thing, and I'm okay with it. But that's why I'm, in the end, and I don't want people to misunderstand me. I love manga. I appreciate manga. It is source material, or a light novel is source material. I just, as I said, prefer anime. And but because we're in this era where we are now, it's not the 90s or the early 2000s, which we mentioned earlier, which is something Seraph of the End is tribute to, late 2020, late aughts, early 2010s, where they would put this stuff out and then suddenly, boom, stops. They don't give any more. Now with some of the popular stuff like Reincarnated Slime, like something we're going to watch eventually here, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? A lot of these popular shows, they will keep going. You just have to be patient. And if you're like me and you can be patient, then I'm just going to wait.
And
I don't want to be spoiled because I want that experience of seeing it for the first time in the anime. Because we all know I'm a big One Piece fan. I've slowly been doing a massive One Piece rewatch for months now. And do I enjoy watching it? Sure. But I already know what happens. So I find myself just waiting for the cool moments I know that are going to happen, as opposed to, for, let's say, Demon Slayer, I don't know what's going to happen. And I am excited to sit back and have it be a thing that I get the experience for the first time. And that's why sometimes, unless something doesn't get an anime ending, I will just wait for it to finish. But I will go to the manga to finish it if I know for sure it ain't going to happen. Like Claymore was, again, that was a perfect example. Twin Star Exorcist is a perfect example. Those got their endings. They're never going to get done in the anime again, likely. So I went and I'm either finish it with Claymore or we'll keep reading it with Twin Star Exorcist.
And I hope a lot more anime come up. And by the way, hail Steve. Sorry for laughing because I read Steve's chat.
Yeah, you need more mods. You got to ban some people in this chat.
He's in your chat, not mine. So
yeah,
get him out. What's up?
You're
Steve?
a mod.
I'm a mod. I'm gonna ban you.
Anyways, though, but I know Brandon actually told us like there's a lot of anime right now that might not even get like a second season. They weren't very successful, but it really does feel like it's rarer now to get an anime that doesn't get a second season.
I'll take that.
That's right.
Oh yeah, there were a couple last season. I mean, one of them, I think I know Brandon did mention, the Undead one. That was actually a pretty good show. He said that might not get a second season. Now I don't follow what's going to get a season, or I don't pay attention to that stuff. A couple things that he didn't like, I thought were pretty good. I remember him mentioning when we talked and when he was guest on Ballbusters last month. Some of them might not get us. I think some of them should. Some of them were pretty good. But you just wait and see. And if they don't, well, then they kind of will just fade away from my existence. The things I truly love and enjoy are going to keep going because they are big things. And whether they're fantasy, sci-fi, mecha stuff that are going, or stuff that are on the opposite of like Rent a Girlfriend. That's one of my favorites. That's not done. That just had a season last year. It's going to get another one. Those things are fun. So these things are going to finish in their own time because they are massively successful. And I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait it out.
I need to look it up. Has Darwin's Game gone to season 2?
What?
Darwin's Game.
I don't know that one.
It is gory. Darwin's Game. No. This might not even be the same anime that I was talking about. No, it is. Yeah, it only has 1 season. I really like Darwin's Game. I thought that was a good season. I thought that was a good show. It was a good concept. The idea is there are certain people, they get an app, then they get certain abilities, and the main character's ability was to create stuff, and he moved on from there. It's really cool. It's all about, you also have to kill your opponent. Like every so often you go into fights and your goal is to kill them to show who has the stronger ability.
Okay.
So it's a really cool, and it's a really cool anime, but they're only on season 1, it looks like, and season 1 only had 11 episodes, and I'm not seeing any evidence of a season 2 right now. And I'd like a season 2.
I mean,
it was a good anime.
The place I go to where is I've showed it a few times, bringing it up here. Some people use Anime List. I prefer Live Chart. Hang on, get it down here. I prefer Live Chart for my perusal of shows because to me it's a nice clean one. This is where I like to go, and it usually shows me pretty cleanly. I mean, what's going on, and if you keep going all in, like right now, I know Jobless Reincarnation, that's going to keep going, and that's going right now. Episode 4 of them. So I got months to go, but if you keep going all the way to the end here throughout the months and Arthur, this one is great. I love Arthur.
I mean, I can see some great reasons.
Hey, this ReZero season 3. I can't wait for that.
I've been needing to see.
You want misery porn, dude? The first season 1 is right up your alley. It's got misery porn all over it.
Isn't that the one where the queen waifu comes from? ReZero? The maid with pink or blue hair?
Yeah, no, the maid with blue. Listen, Rem is love, Rem is life. Okay, you need to understand that. Rem is love, Rem is life. She is best girl. The princess can go fuck herself. But if you keep going all the way here to the end, and eventually it clicks over to upcoming stuff. And this is where I go to see if things are going to be coming around later. Like right now, we know we're getting Reincarnated as a Sword season 2. This was a surprise hit for me. This one is just a sweet one. Angel Next Door. Call me gay. I don't care. It was fun. I enjoy that one. This one makes our friend Melee James get an erection. Of Tanya the Evil season 2. He will nut his pants when that comes out. A lot of other things. But you go through here, you can keep going for months. It shows a lot of stuff that either is current or come. Like here, Shield Hero season 4 coming. So I like this. This is where I go to see if things are coming out. It's good enough for me, and hopefully things I like will keep happening. Sometimes they don't. So this is where I sometimes get my reassurance that this. Did you see Bisco? Sabikui Bisco. That season 1 was good. Season 1 was awesome. This is one of
listen. I see dude with red hair has a face that I'm gonna be like, you know what?
Bisco is a freaking badass. I love Bisco.
But
go ahead.
You know, we're talking about other animes that never finished. I wish Dead Man Wonderland finished. I really like Dead
Perfect
Man
example.
Wonderland.
The manga finished.
Yeah.
And it's not like they created an anime-only ending. They just stopped.
Yeah. And it had plenty of room to keep going. They left on major cliffhangers.
Oh, yeah. It had just started to get good in the anime.
Holy shit.
It had just gotten to the good shit. So they could one day come back and do it. It's still there. So.
I would like them to come back and do it because I still remember like one of the big twists, and it's like, oh my god!
Oh, they didn't reveal the biggest twist of all. They hadn't even gone to that yet. So, but yeah, so this is where I like to go, and as you saw before, if we go back a bunch of pages, they go back to fall. Here we go. If we go back here, go back here. Actually, no, let me go back to spring. Hang on. Go back to summer and spring. It shows you. You can see right here. It shows the timers. I'm zoomed out a little bit. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can see it shows you the timer when it's on, how many days till it comes back here and there. I mean, we are still a month away from the beginning of the Hashira arc, Hashira training arc in Demon Slayer. So we're still a month away.
So, and
I'm sorry, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks away. Ooh. And I've been warning people, Hashira training arc. If you didn't like Sword Village arc, Hashira training arc is going to be slow.
See, I liked it. So I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think because there was apparently a big controversy around Sword
well, they
Village
released
arc.
it. They released the movies for Hashira training arc like they did with Sword Village arc. It didn't get received well.
Well, it wasn't that. It was like the people actually didn't like the season at all because they thought it was too slow. It didn't do a lot of stuff that they wanted to do. If you didn't like that season, you're not going to like this season. I'm warning you guys right now. But it's a necessary season. Similar to Slime. Season 1 of Slime, I liked it for the most part. Slow in some parts, a lot of setup.
I like slow and setup if it pays off. Like I'm very patient with the slow series until the end. If it doesn't go anywhere, then I like implode. But like
this season is set up to the max. This is just tons of setup over and over and over again. But it's worth it, especially some of the payoffs that you get in the arc and a half you get later next, because after
that's
that
good
you get
to do in like a mid-season though versus like the first season where you don't even know what the show's about yet.
Yeah, this
right
is
here.
Go ahead.
Finish your thoughts. Sorry, no, sorry. Finish your thoughts.
Hashira training arc is the arc right before the raid arc, which is your final arc, and it's like an arc and a half is at the end because you go raid arc, final battle. And I would argue that the final battle is its own arc. So, because you can break those up into 2 separate seasons really easily, or a movie for the final battle, which probably would work a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. The movie probably would work better for the final battle itself because it's a major battle. And I think that will look a whole lot better on a big screen versus a small screen because of how much shit goes down. But what we're about to get, like raid arc, there's tons of fights. It's constant fight, nonstop fights. And you get introduced to possibly, I would argue, the worst demon yet. You've already been shown him, and he's already kind of been introduced. He's the number 2.
Yeah.
You get to know more about him. And I will say it now. He is, besides like the actual like leader of them all, the guy that makes them all, he's the worst one yet because he is a demon that just embodies demon. He does not give a shit. Number 1 is awesome. Number, I guess he's 3 now or 4. The one that killed Rengoku. He actually has a really good backstory. Number 1 has a really good backstory. Number 2 has somewhat of a backstory, but they make it that he's just a villain, guys.
Well, that's one of the unique things about Demon Slayer is that for the most part, the demons are victims. They're victims. These are not. These are people who were people, and the demon infection perverts them.
And I'll say number 1. Next season sets up number 1. That's all I'm gonna say. Next season,
I have my theories.
Number 1.
But we're going down this time. Here's another example. We'll talk about shows that went away and came back, like Irregular at Magic High School. This shit's been out for over a decade.
I've been told
it's a good one. It's got the previous 2 seasons in a movie. And here we are at season 3, but it's light novels. It's kind of different backstory. Data Live. This shit's been going on forever. And I think it's finally coming to I think this is the conclusion now. I think 5 is going to be the end of it. Problem is, last season in 4, they switched animation studios and it doesn't look right anymore. Gosh, and that's really annoying.
I feel like that's always a gamble when you switch animation studios. Sometimes it works, sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It had the beautiful classic look of the command, and suddenly everything got softened and petiteed, and it lost its uniqueness and its charm to it. So I mean, the
And
story is still good. I just don't like what they do with the animation.
I'll say I like Attack on Titan is a good example again. I like the earlier seasons. I like that animation style better, but I'm not gonna lie, like when they changed studios, I do like that animation style that they did.
Mhm.
Except I don't like how they made Mikasa look. That was
Well, she
I
was
don't know
never
that
hot to begin with. I'm sorry, Picasso was never hot to begin with. So
lies. She was beautiful, sexy Asian
No.
lady with big tits, and
not
then
really.
she kind of became
Not
masculine.
really.
She was
No.
muscle mommy. Shock, defend me on this.
I like her,
Don't.
but she's not a
Oh,
dummy
wait.
mommy or
Can
anything.
you
Don't
scroll up a
don't
little bit?
defend him. Wait, what? What do you miss?
I just want to see when does the spring 20. Oh no, that's when it began.
This is now. This is current.
It doesn't
What do
tell
you-
me when the next Pokemon
Which what?
Horizon.
Oh,
Pokemon Horizon.
here. Episode 3, episode 13. It hasn't. I guess it's delayed. So
Oh fuck. Side note, I saw Pokemon Horizons because I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to see how I like it without Ash. I'll be honest, I think Pokemon Horizons is a good reboot.
Yeah, you were
Like,
telling
good.
me that. I want to check it out. Actually,
It
they
was
should have done that a long
actually
time ago.
there's they do instead of like episodic, and it has the we're all just gonna become friends, you know,
let's be
Pokemon trope,
friends.
but it also is serialized versus episodic. Like every episode impacts the next episode.
That's good.
Alright.
My only
Uh,
downside is no, they have a goal now. There's no real. There is a gym fight, but they're not even focusing on the gyms. They have a completely different goal altogether. There is a mystery. There is stuff to go, and it's like I kind of want to continue this. I want to see how
Okay.
this plays out.
Real quick, Alaric Harrison for $1.99, $1.99. Great discussion. Listening while I play Final Fantasy 14. Well, as soon as it's done here, I'm going to log in and play some Final Fantasy 14
I have
myself.
to edit 2 videos.
I do my because I can do my shit in the morning.
Mhm.
So yeah, I will be logging in. I gotta do my Beast Tribe dailies because I almost have a new mount coming my way. A couple more days, and then I got to keep pushing my Endwalker. Gotta get through Endwalker. I got till June 28th. I got time.
I'm still
But,
curious what rate faction Shock's gonna choose.
Job or race?
Well,
Not
guess all of it.
race doesn't matter. Your initial job, like your initial
Oh,
the first thing you
I already
get.
said I probably want to do a tank because if I'm
Well,
playing with people, I
there's
don't
two
mind.
starter tanks. Well, there's 2 starter tanks, either Marauder or Gladiator, and they're each in a different city. So
I was gonna do a paladin, but I'll
That's
leave
Gladiator,
that.
so-
I'll leave that for the Virgin to take that role.
So you?
No, it's you, baby.
He's
No, I
already
already
got
have-
his summoner.
No,
He's
I already
his
got-
summoner.
I already got a bunch of different like.
Well, you just got to remember the beauty of Final Fantasy 14 is that you can be any job you want. If you get bored of it, you could just unlock
That's
them all.
cool.
Yeah,
And
so like your initial job is just the
mean-
importance of like knowing where your initial job is to know, like for me, example, trying to find you so I can help walk you through the first stuff.
Well, I'm the one that can actually you can get in my car and I can fly you places. See, I can.
Well,
actually do
yeah.
that.
Baby,
I did the
you
Final
can
Fantasy
come
16
home.
crossover event last night, just because I realized, oh shit, it's almost over. I got to get that because there was a triple triad card with it and a mount, so I had to get it. Had to get it done. There's a Yokai Watch event going on until the launch.
I was never into Yokai Watch.
Neither
It
am I, but
stupid
there
and
is
way
one
too
going on.
kiddie. But how are summons? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say, Shock. My main job is It's Lancer, but it becomes Dragoon because
Oh,
Give you a
I
lol
like
drag. Call you a lol
I-
drag.
I like being Lancer on Monster Hunter.
I prefer I do like DPS, but listen, I have a summoner job as well because
Well, that is DPS.
If I'm
summoner is DPS.
Yes, Summoner's DPS.
Yeah, I like DPS plays.
if
Yeah,
I'm
I
playing
know, like,
solo, it's DPS. But if we're all gonna be playing as friends, I wouldn't mind doing a support role.
Well, you
that
be
makes
whatever
it
you
fun.
want. I mean, right now,
Mhm.
I'm a tanker DPS. I'm primarily DPS, and right now my main is Machinist. until the new expansion drops and I get my hands on Viper, which
There
is the new class
is
with dual swords. But
there
I mean, there's
is also an overpowered healer class. Like there's tons of overpowered.
Oh yeah, I
Well,
saw a
there's
few videos. They were
there's like
saying
4
that.
healer classes. There's 4 of them.
And there's
I'll be a healer.
and they also the healers are also like powerful. Like they
Nice.
can deal damage as well. It's like
Yeah, but you got to be a good healer. You got to know how to. The
Yeah.
best healers know how to properly rotate their damage along with the healing and not let you die. Probably so
Which I'm
far
not.
with everybody who has been hanging out with us, nobody is being a healer yet. So we don't have anybody being a healer.
All right, I guess
Well,
we'll be a healer.
if it wasn't for the fact that
Yeah,
Silver
Dermy,
owns
I don't want you
land-
healing me. I don't want you healing me.
No, I'm not gonna heal. I'm not a healer.
hands.
What I will say is Silver is a good healer because he has all of his characters maxed out. He has them at the best styles. And when I was playing with him, I literally never lost life.
No. Well, yeah. So we don't have any healers right now. Listen, if anybody watching, we are on Midgard Stormer. We will be. I'm there. I created the free company a couple days ago. We do have a free company, and people are slowly trickling in. So we have a foundation.
We need a heal. We need a healer.
So, you can join us if
Someone
you want
come
to.
heal Dermy.
This isn't just our YouTube circle thing. This is you want to play with us? Let us know, and we will we'll get you in there.
And I will say, I look Dragoon Lancer, whatever the fuck it's called. They have their own ways of healing. A healer just assists.
Listen, Dragoons. This isn't like Final Fantasy 11 where we call them lol dragons. Dragoons are seriously still one of the best DPSs in the game. I'm simply machinist because my original main DPS ninja. It is just untenable. You can't. The survivability is bad now because of how.
I still want to try out the class that gets the scythe. I can't remember
Reaper?
what it's called. Yeah,
Reaper.
I still want to try.
Yeah, I haven't. Once I finish Endwalker's story, I will go back and unlock Reaper, and I'll probably mess around with it until Dawn Trail drops.
I think it's a sorcerer class.
No, it's a melee class.
It is a melee class. I thought it was a magic class.
No, it's melee. I mean, I've seen it in parties. So
I love the way it looks. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if it's DPS.
It is DPS.
Yes.
Yeah, Reaper's DPS.
I will be working my hardest to get Reaper. That will take years.
That's Endwalker. So
yeah, that's gonna take years to get Reaper. And
no, it won't. It won't take you years. Just a few months of regular play, and you'll power through the content.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get there, and I'm gonna have to work hard.
Yeah, not as hard as you think. Just one rule. Just remember, log out. Always log out in a town, in a major hub town, so that you get your rested XP, and so that you always get your little extra stuff.
Oh, I always pay and just go. I pay, go to bed, log out.
Yeah. Just always log out where you can get your rested XP. Anyway, thank you, Alaric, for the 199. Yeah. So
I fucking love DPS.
Yeah, DPS. Well, listen. Once you go, I started my MMO career as a tank, and I can still do it. I've got Dark Knight and I've got Gunbreaker unlocked. You know, I can do that. I have to level them up to 90 now. Once I'm done, I got to get them up there. But I got my Dark Knight and Gunbreaker. They're very good classes. I think Dark Knight should have been a DPS personally. I think it would have been better as a DPS than a tank. But I love DPS the most, and I'm really excited for Dawn Trail because many of you may or may not know I am a dual wielding fanboy. That is my one true love when it comes to combat style.
Wielder.
Yeah. And the new Viper class, in Dawn Trail is a dual wielding sword class. So I am very excited.
I like Reapers. I've always been a fan of scythes. I like Reapers.
That's why I like Ninja, because it was a dual wielding sword class, but it had its own thing. And I like Ninja, but it just got untenable the way they designed the class in Shadowbringers, and I couldn't keep up with it anymore. And also the way the combats and some of the battles are going with the AoE zones for the enemies, I couldn't be I couldn't be stationary enough to get my stuff up. So
might be a dumb question. Are they releasing a new race? Because I haven't tracked it. I saw
they go well. They made man bunnies available. You can be a male bunny now. So
I knew the bunny race was the thing.
Well,
I didn't know.
Hey, real quick, I gotta
Yeah.
go do something real quick.
we're gonna end soon anyway.
we're
Sean.
gonna
okay,
end. I
okay.
just
We're almost
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
No,
we
you're
have
good.
great tangent.
I
So-
just didn't know because I saw like the trailer for the new stuff, and it was like there's a
Mhm.
lot of lizard people here. Are they releasing like a full-fledged lizard?
I
race
haven't
now?
seen any announcements for new races. They usually would have announced it already.
Okay.
I mean, there already are so many races now in the game. I mean, there's a
and your race.
plethora to choose from.
I will say your race also might need to be thought through.
Yeah,
Well,
I need
you
to
can
look
change
that
it.
up.
You can change your race with a Fantasia potion.
Oh,
You're not locked into your race. You can change
I
it.
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just like Oliver London.
when Stormblood came out and Aura became available to Dragon people, everybody who was a cat girl overnight became Dragon girls.
I'm an
Oh,
Aura.
they're dragon girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
they're
Oh, but
dragon
now
girls.
it's
There's
cool to be
dragon
a
guys.
cat
Oh,
girl because everyone's a dragon guy. I wanna
Hey,
be a dragon
listen. Ishtola is my Final Fantasy wife in this game. Listen.
I'm an Aura, but they're dragon people, but they're not dragon people. It's complicated because I read their
Yeah.
whole thing. That's like they're not. They look like horns, but they're
Doesn't well
actually
still
roots.
overnight, and then when the bunny girls came out, all the dragon girls became bunny girls because they were tall with big tits. So hey,
Ooh.
let's just remember every chick you see in that game is a dude.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway,
And
Shock, you gotta
I
go,
know,
man.
right?
Pimp
Yeah.
your stuff, and we'll get you out of here.
I do. Yeah, I'll be back though if you guys are still hanging out.
Oh, we're only gonna go about another 5 or 10 minutes, so we're almost done. We're almost
Okay.
3 hours.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Shaka Zulu 1. Sorry. No, I'm Shaka Zulu 12 on YouTube. I do YouTube videos. What?
How did you not know your own name?
Well, because I'm Shaka Zulu 12 on YouTube and I'm Shaka Zulu 1 on Kick. So I always get them mixed up.
Anyway,
But yeah, I do videos and I stream on Kick. So I had a great time, guys.
Shock, it's great having you, man.
I'm
And,
gonna
Shock,
finish this show because I love the show. So if we
Go
ever
for
do a
it. You're gonna have
season
fun.
2,
we'll do it.
I would love to come back and continue the
Excellent.
discussion.
Oh, Shock, you'll probably be here. Part of the panel list because probably a larger panel when we start Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh
and
yes,
we make our way through that. So you will be
Yeah,
back
because
for that.
he's never seen it. He's not allowed to watch it until we do that because
Yeah.
I'm one to relive life through him.
because I've only
It's-
seen. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Mhm.
glorious. Anyway, so Shock, thanks for here, man, and we will see you around, man. Take care, dude.
Awesome, great
And
show,
all-
everybody.
All his links will be in description below. As soon as we're done here, I will put them in there. So go subscribe.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So excellent, dude.
His
Thanks,
links
man.
will be
guys.
in. Adam's won't.
Fuck
Yeah.
off, Jeremy. Anyway, yeah. So we're Final Fantasy 14. It's a lot of
Good
fun.
night, everyone.
Good night, dude. It's I'm looking the new Viper class is what got me excited to play again because finally when I play an MMO, I need to be excited about the jobs. I want to get into it, be excited. That's why I love playing Star Wars: The Republic so much because the Sentinel 2 lightsabers, it was my jam. I always kind of just was okay with most of the FF14 classes. What kept me going with FF14 was the story. The story has been fantastic, and I've always been engaged. But now, with the main story ending with Endwalker and the new one starting with Dawn Trail, which apparently is going to be Final Fantasy 9 themed. Now I learned that the other day. But now suddenly Viper, 2 swords. Oh, now I'm gonna have to change my style. I'm used to playing at range with Machinist, where I can kind of just f around and not have to really worry about a lot of shit. So I'm gonna have to retrain myself to be a frontline DPS. But I'm excited. It's got me very excited.
Silver always wanted me to play with him. Finally got a PC, so I started playing with him because he was always PlayStation. They cross play, whatever. He told me about the Reaper class, and it's like, can I do that now? No, you guys don't unlock it. Fuck.
You'll get there. I think you'll get there a lot faster. I mean, you're playing a lot of games right now, and I'm sure a few of them will probably taper off in terms of overall interest as time goes on. And listen, 14, it's a peak and valley. It's a roller coaster. You're really hot on it for a while, and then you take a break, and then you come back, you get really hot on it. That's been my life with it for the past 10 years. So
I'm to be perfectly honest, I think I'm only gonna play for like 3 months and then taper off for a while because that's usually how long I play a game.
Well, I think it also depending on who you're playing with. One thing about 14, it's best when you're playing with people.
Yeah,
and
I would still be playing if it just Silver and I's schedule just wasn't working out anymore. So
I mean, the thing is, we are 2 months away from the expansion, and I'm working hard now because I want to do expansion immediate. I mean, I've got enough time I'll probably finish Endwalker in the next 2 weeks or so because I'm through the first couple parts of it, and then that gives me plenty of time to do the side stuff I want to do, mount collecting and get all my crafting up because there are a lot of people who are just fuck you money rich in this game. I'm not one of them. I have millions, but not fuck you money millions.
Silver's fuck you money rich.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that money.
I'm not fuck you money rich. I mean, I can take care of myself very easily. I'm never wanting. I mean, I've got tens of millions, but not fuck you money millions.
I specifically remember when we made our little like free company, we went into town. And he goes like, "Yeah, just buy the best gear."
Yeah, see, my thing is, I'm not going to buy this gear. I'll make you. Well, I just bought the best gear for myself. But the trick with knowing to buy gear on your shard, hop world travel, go to different marketplaces and different servers to get the best buy. I did that the other day when I hit 90 on machinist because my levels aren't high enough to actually make my gear for level 90 on my crafting. So I was like, shit, I got to buy this now though because I don't want to be gimped going through the rest of the content.
I remember because I was like staring at the money, like I don't want to spend too much money, I want to just keep us like. And he looks at he's playing with me, goes like, "You fucking retard, dude! I have unlimited money. Just buy what you want. Everything here's cheap, and I'll get more money. I have so much money."
He knows he's been playing so long. He knows he's locked into the easy way to get money.
He's been playing since the beginning. He had a free company. He ended up they turned everything over to him. So he has like all this money, and it's like, yeah, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with our free company now that we have, I want to get us a house so that you guys can take advantage of, customizing your chocobos because you can't build a chocobo stable unless you have a house. Problem is, I've been in a mansion, and I don't want to go back to anything smaller. Problem is, last time I checked, 50 million per mansion. I don't have that. And even if I did, it would wipe me out to pay it. So my goal is to hopefully get my crafting up so that I can take advantage of the new expansion boom, which always happens. There's always a boom expansion. People just, because this game is filled with people with fuck you money, they will just buy everything at outrageous prices. And an expansion drop, if your crafting is up high enough, you get it up there. Mm-hmm. And that's how I made all my money that I have now when Shadowbringers dropped. I was just ready for it, and I just, boom, I made a bunch of money. So I'm hoping to do that again. Max out the crafting. I have like 4 craftings that are at previous max. So it's fun though, but it'd be better with people. I mean, you might play longer than 3 months. I mean, that's usually been my routine, 3 to 5 months, and then I stop. But it always ended up stopping because the people I was playing with, either the groups break apart or they disappear, or they became assholes, and I had to leave the group. So with us in here, people playing, so when you lose the people you play with, which makes it fun, you lose it because after you're done with the main content, part of the fun is just doing the shit with people, going on the adventures, running dungeons, helping out, crafting, doing it, having fun with it. That's the fun part, and it's fun with people. And that Final Fantasy 14 has always been best with people. That's why back when I played Star Wars: The Old Republic, I went so many years. I never took a break for years because I had my group, I had my guild, and I never was wanting for people to do stuff with.
I will say, I think that's video games, period. Video games are more fun when you're playing with people and friends. Like, in communicating. That's one of the big reasons I never got into like online play before, is because 1, I didn't have a mic. 2, wasn't really much of a people person, and I used to just play single player games, so I never played a bunch of online games. Now that I'm here, it's like, well, there's content. I like playing stuff. We kind of have our own rules, you're the brains, and the people that know how to do stuff, and then the people that like to go break things go outside and play, like me and Shock.
The thing is also, listen, I was where you were 10 years ago. No, actually more than that now. 14 years ago when I first started doing, when MMOs evolved from just being on the screen without voice chat. It felt really weird to suddenly put on a headset and talk to people I've never met before. That was a large hurdle for me to jump. And I jumped it. I got over it. And then I had to really get over it when they said, when one dude said, I'm not going to run the raids anymore. Can you do it? I'm like, what? Why me? Because, well, you're here all the time. Okay. And then that was my lot in life. I end up running raids because I'm always there, and I had to quickly get over it. And you get over it. I mean, and now here we are, 14, 13, 12 years later, and we do this YouTube shit. And now randomly talking to somebody on a video, it's nothing. It's not a problem.
Well, I used to play, I played Diablo. I played MMOs in the past, but I was always with like a friend's house, playing with him, playing. I had a really good friend who he'll never be on here. I love the dude, but he's not into actually doing this stuff, and he's not interested in any aspect of this. Plus, he works way too much. I used to play with his entire family.
I've played
his
with
mom and
families before.
dad. His mom and dad.
Yep.
They had like 4 PCs. They played constantly. Whenever they weren't working, they were at home doing MMOs. They used to do that old school, build up a character, sell off the character, help pay this person to help you go through a dungeon, go through a raid.
Oh, see that I'm not a fan of the people who get paid to pay their way through that. I don't like that.
They made a good living off that, and they knew they had their characters always maxed out. When an update came out, they fixed it, they updated it, and they moved on. They were always on top of that.
Yeah. I've played with good families and bad families. Good families are great. Bad families can be poison because sometimes those families take over everything and they will ruin it. And I've experienced that.
I loved playing with these guys. Again, I was at their house. They would walk me through it, and because I was a friend with their son, they would just help me out. They would freely help me out. They would freely teach me the ropes. They would do it all the time. They would teach you how to do stuff, and it was a blast.
Well, so that's the thing. Also, I'm perfectly honest. Right now, I can tank. I could tank with the best of them, but I don't like to tank with strangers anymore. I tank with people I know because if I'm rusty and I fuck up, you guys will roast me, but it's not gonna reflect on me as playing in the game. As don't play with this guy, he's a shit tank, or I'm not gonna break up the party if I fuck with tank. No, you guys will give me shit and then we'll move on. So I prefer to tank in a private situation. Otherwise, I will just stick to my DPS and never. And I think I'm not a healer.
I do think that's going to be the beauty of all of us playing together is if we fuck up, one, it's content.
You guys are going to fuck up.
I'm going to fuck up royally.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, there's a reason I played tank so long is because I have this issue in which I always have to run up and battle the fucker, and I don't like to go away.
Thing about a tank is if you're tanking a 14, you just have to stand there and take it. Sometimes you just got to remember to move, and it's not like. But you have 14, and we'll close the conversation because we're over 3 hours now. I was doing the first trial in Endwalker the other night, and I watched the video how to do it because that's what you want to do. You always want to watch a video so you get at least know what it looks like, then go in. And I don't know the fight really well. I've only ever done it, but the beauty of it is. People who do know it, do what you're doing, but then keep an eye. Just go with the group. When they start running, stay with the group, and you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's my big issue. Is I have a hard time staying with the group. I said it earlier. People that know what they're doing, the way we play, the people that know what they're doing, they do what they know how to do. Then you have people like me and Shaku who go outside and play.
Well, here's the thing.
You have to give us direction.
Here's the thing. I am a raid leader. I have turned nobodies into crack raid teams. If I can, I will craft you into a killing machine. I'm
already a killing machine. I just need direction.
No, a killing machine that won't die in the process is what we're gonna do. So I will turn you guys. Now, thing about 14 is what they call raids aren't really raids, and we're not even as a group. Even if you guys get that far, we're not doing that super savage hard mode content. I don't even like doing that because that's no fun. But when we do the regular shit together, I'll get you through it. It'll be fine. And especially like when we do the alliance runs, that's 20-person raids. And that's a pickup group. It's always pickup group. Those are fun because you get your own group in there and then you play with other people. It's all entertaining. And the thing about 14, which is great, is it still has a really good community. It's an understanding community. They're always ready to help. And as long as you let them know, first time, nobody gives a shit. You just got to let them know first time. Oh, that's what, whenever I do something, I have no feeling. I say, howdy. Yeah, first time. And just go, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Anyway, so you guys can join us on our adventures of 14. Once the group is going, I mean, I've been teasing it for a couple weeks now. Even though I'm playing on my own, once we're going, you can check it out on my channel, check it out on the Journey's channel. Shock will be there, I'll be there. You can follow us all from everybody's perspectives. We will be playing together, doing shit, and just trying to have a good old fashioned time. And we have it, we have it on authority that fun is guaranteed, plain and simple. Because
fun's going to be guaranteed.
We're not doing this to be badasses. Now, I am a badass. I'm a badass, but we're not doing this to be badass. We're doing this to hang out, have a good time. And I want these guys to experience this game because it's a joyous game.
It's a joyous game, but I think we established this kind of gaming together culture when it came to Pal World. Like it came together there. I don't know who had the idea first. It was me or you. We finally have all these people. Combination. We have all these people that like to play games together now. You know, you got Kel who does Kel stuff. Yeah. That's just
Kel, for once, I'm ahead of Kel. He's only at level 70. He's still working through Stormblood. No, I'm 2 expansions ahead of him. So,
but you got Kel who does Kel stuff. You got you that do you stuff. We found this perfect flow of how to play together.
Yeah,
and also we joke and laugh at the same time.
The thing about Final Fantasy 14 is it's great with other people. And you've barely gotten into the story, right? You're like barely into it. The story's going to, once you get going with the story, it's going to capture you and you're going to be pulled along and you're going to just enjoy it because that's the beauty of the Final Fantasy 14. Its story is incredible. Yoshi P made a great game.
If I remember right, I think I just got Ninja Class.
Okay, so have you that's just a side thing. That's just unlocking that. I mean,
but I'm in that town for the first time.
You're in Limsa for the first time. Yeah, so you're barely in it. You haven't even fought Ifrit yet, have you?
No. Here's the thing that Silver and I, we would grind together. We wouldn't just like burst through everything. We would do like a bunch of side content as well.
Well, that's what I was talking to Clifton. I was talking to Professor Savage Dad the other day saying, listen, guys, there's plenty of ways to level in this game. Do fates, run dungeons, just run your quests. And if you go along, you'll get there. And the beauty of it, though, is that you don't always need us there, but it will be more fun with there. And what we're going to do, though, is like when you guys come upon an actual first thing like a trial, I ain't doing that unlocked. You have to beat it on legitimate for the first time. Then I'll take you guys through. The exception will be when you get to the end of the first game, Realm Reborn, and you're summoner, so you're going to want Bahamut. Now everybody should do the Coil of Bahamut because it's part of the story. So we meet Alice for the first time. That will be unlocked. We are not running that as legitimate. It will be unlocked, and I will basically stand in front of you and kill everything so that you get it. Because that's what was done for me. Now, once you get Bahamut, what you need to do is there's a mod you need to make sure you have or something where he shrinks it, because otherwise Bahamut is too large on everybody's screen, and it covers it's for you. I mean, I have it. It shrinks him so that he's smaller and he's not taking up too much space. And you can see shit going on. But you get as a summoner, you get first you'll get Ifrit, you'll get Titan and Garuda as your pets. Then you get Bahamut. Then later on you get Phoenix. I think there's another one in there.
Alexander?
No.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Alexander.
Remember if Alexander was in this one or if I don't know.
There's an Alexander pet, like a little minion, which just follows you around and does nothing. But there's Alexander mount.
It's been a while since I looked at the list, but I saw Bahamut. It was like, fuck you all, I want Bahamut.
For a while. He's still legitimate summons. That people still use him as your pet summons to this day. There's different situations. You'll understand it depending on summoner, what the situation was. Use Bahamut, use Phoenix.
I think I still need to work through my summoner more because I believe I got it. I got Carbink because that's your first one.
Carbuncle. Yeah, or Carbuncle's your initial. He's your initial summons pet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember. You don't get summoner when you're in the forest, right?
Is it Gridania? I don't know. I didn't unlock it.
I have it. Like that was the thing that Silver was having me do every time we got.
Summoner's the advanced class. The first one it's Arcanist, I think. And
that is in Gridania.
You get Arcanist, and then when you get to a point, you can choose Summoner or you can choose the healing class. You choose one or the other when you go for it. Now you can get them all, but either one. But I think the beauty of the game, you be whatever you want. It's good to be
We're gonna go
versatile
summoner.
in the game. It's good to be versatile, have a lot of things. That's why I can be tank or DPS. And the problem is like we have no healers right now. So if we do stuff, we will be pugging a healer. And pray to
I
God they don't
could
hate us. No, I don't want you healing me. I do not want
I
you healing.
could be I'm not saying I will, but I could because I don't mind learning new
Well, thing is,
things.
thing about healing is it's a different targeting system than targeting your monsters, and you'd have to have a different setup of hotkeys for it or some shit like that. And also, I don't think you have I don't think you're a healer. I think you like to kill shit like I do.
I like to kill shit.
Yeah.
That's why there's that one healer. The
Here's-
healer class with the funnels is good at combat as well.
Healers, that's the newest one. Healers, like the real healers, best ones, they love it. They love their job. They love healing people. They love keeping people alive. They love supporting. Real healers are the thing. I mean, healers or tanks are always the most in demand classes because I mean, if frankly, I won't need to tank in the beginning because at least now 2 of you are tanks. And Professor Savage Dad, he's got Marauder. Clifton took Marauder. Shock's thinking about doing Gladiator into Paladin. So we got tanks, actually, plenty of tanks. You don't need me. But what we need is healers. And there's really only like tank, healer, DPS. It's the Trinity system. And some of the DPS do other things. Like Red Mage has a little bit of each stuff it can do. There's variety.
I know.
There's variety.
I know Dragoon does get the abilities to like heal itself, so he can still
It's
he can just keep hitting and stealing health.
Yeah, you get it's a blood thing. It's a blood. It's like a blood thing.
And that's how I've had mine kind of set up right now. Bulk up, start stealing health and healing myself at the same time as I deal damage.
I mean, I would advise everybody when you choose your class, go read up on the literature of what's available, so you know some of the meta on it. I mean, the thing about 14 is there are ways to play the classes. There's not a lot of flexibility. There's the best way, and then there's the okay way. I'm somewhere in between right now because I don't really give a shit. I don't really give a shit about machinist anymore. I'm just doing it because it's my strongest class at the moment, and I want to be able to get through the content without a problem.
That's why I main Dragoon, but I want to get, but I want to get all the classes, but the main one.
Summoner it's basically a range DPS, so you can float around on the perimeter a little bit. Well, not too far. You don't want to get too far away from your healers, or get caught in a mechanic where maybe you were distracted and you missed the cues, and everybody else moved, and you're all fucking in bumblefuck, and you're dead. So
all I want to do is unleash Bahamut on the world and bring the glory of Bahamut to all.
Well, he's a primal in this one. It's not the real Bahamut. He's a false god. But you'll learn the lore as you play the game. You'll understand.
I'll learn the lore as I play the game. But
the game teaches you the game lore. Yeah, it's great. The story is fantastic. Anyway, so we are massively off tangent. This is more of a video game discussion.
We've gone off rails. I still need to edit.
We thank Alaric for bringing it up. I'm happy to talk about it because I want lots of people to have fun with us, either watching us or playing with us. I want to have a good time with this because I'm excited for Dawn Trail. Finally.
Oh, I'm super freaking excited for what we're about to do.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a few payments to come through and make a few payments before I update because I know I'm mostly going to have to pay. Wait, no, first transfer is free.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad I set this money aside months ago for 14 and Stellar Blade because I had to pay a stupid bill today that I basically didn't have to happen, but I misunderstood how something went. So I had to shell out a bunch of money today to pay a dumb bill. And so I'm glad I had the money set aside. And hopefully I'll have enough money. I should have enough money by the time Dawn Trail comes. So I'm going to get the pre-order because it comes with a sick-ass mecha mount. Oh, I want that collector's edition because it's like it's a mech. It's a mech, and it looks cool. And I want it because I love mounts in this game. I love them. Anyway, right, so we are.
I might just buy it right. I might just pre-order it right now, even if I'm not going to get to it in time.
Well, it would be a good idea because when you do that, it'll unlock the level cap. It's always good, even if you're not going to get the expansion. If you plan on always playing, it at least gets you the level cap, so you can start playing. And listen, you'll hit 100 long before you hit Dawn Trail. You'll hit 100 long before you hit Dawn Trail. So
especially how I play, because I do like to do side content as it comes up.
Oh, there is.
I know it's
tons of side shit to do.
I also have like some of the jobs unlocked, like wood carver.
Those are crafting.
Lumber. Yeah, I have the crafting stuff unlocked. I'm not good at it. I haven't really done much with it, but I have. I've
It's
been
not. It's
unlocking
very
as I get
easy
through.
once you get the hang of it, but it's a grind and it takes money. It takes
Yeah.
money to level crafting. Trust me,
Mhm.
I've been there. Anyway, yeah. So look, guys, we are going to end it up. So you coming like, hello, Andy. Sorry, but we're done for the night.
I
We
need
are
at
done.
least
All
edit
right.
1 or 2 videos. I
Yeah.
will look at it, so.
Jeremy, have you chosen a show for next month?
Actually, yes, I have chosen a show for next month, and I already okayed it with you. We will be doing Record of Ragnarok, season
Record of
1
Ragnarok.
and 2.
Season
And
1
the
and 2. It's yeah.
The reason I'm doing season 1 and 2 is because 20 some episodes, not a whole lot, because season 1's 12 episodes, season 2's 13 episodes.
Yeah.
The reason I'm doing it though is even though season 1's really good, season 2 has by far the best fights as of right now.
So
And I want to know Adam's favorite fight out of all 6 fights that they have.
So we will be back here on May 30th. We'll be
Mhm.
right back here on May 30th for another episode of Anime Odyssey. Once again, I want to thank Shock for joining us. And as always, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe. And we appreciate each and every one of you across the chat. Without you, we don't exist. We don't get to do this. So thank you all for your support. And we will catch you next time. Until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be.